in the background?
Yeah, tiny bit.
Oh, that's good. If it's a tiny bit, then that's good.
Yeah, tiny bit, yeah. Like that I can make out what they're saying.
Brilliant. Okay, welcome everybody to 101 on Arsenal. I'm here with Gary, and we're going to take you through Arsenal versus Fulham. It's an away game, quite frankly, that we have to win, and we have to win convincingly because of the situation at hand in the last game where, quite frankly, it was our worst game of the season. I did shoot a video, which I normally do a vlog at the Emirates, but it was so bad and I was coughing all over the place. When I got home, I was upset about the loss and I didn't feel like I had the patience or the time to edit a 2-hour video with me coughing all over the place talking about Arsenal losing. So forgive me for the lack of content. A lot of you have been sending me messages. I am about 85% better. Because as you can see, I'm talking to you now. But I do feel like there are a ton of bricks that are leaning on my chest and not giving me the amount of capacity that I need to. So as with the last stream, I won't be reading out most of your comments. I will show them on the screen. So please let me know what your thoughts are in the game today. But I'll only be commentating on the game today as apart from your comments. Gary, how are you, bro?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, mate. I'm not too bad. So I'm still getting over the illness myself I had just before Christmas. Keep getting little repeat chesty coughs and stuff like that. Just doesn't want to go away, mate. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I'm good.
Excellent. So, guys, let's go through the team sheet, and there is a lot to talk about. Now, the team sheet, guys, it's kind of crazy. We was asking for wholesale changes to Zinchenko, who's had an awful set of 3 games. Martinelli, who's got 2 goals in 17, 18 games. And Jesus, who's got 3 goals in 17 games. And this is just not acceptable. And I've been having conversations with most of you guys online and a couple of the guys in the panelists. And my biggest issue is it's okay to talk about we should sell Smith Rowe, Nketiah, Reece Nelson, guys who are just not getting enough minutes, and not criticize the people who were starting for us, who are just not getting it done. And you know, we love to point fingers at Havertz, we love to point fingers at Eddie, we love to say Reece Nelson's not good enough. Everyone's talking about Smith Rowe now, we should sell him. But what I don't hear from you guys is what's going on with our current starters in Jesus and Martinelli. And most of it, you can look on the forum, guys, most of it is silence. It's just radio silence. We're strong to criticize the players who can come in and help, but we don't have anything to say about the guys who are letting the team down. And they are. And we love them, guys. This isn't a bashing session or anything like that. We're just standing up as adults, having a conversation about players who are underperforming. And that's the reality. We might not want to do in a certain situation, but right to the in the room, we've got to talk about this ugly situation we're in, where we're not getting it done. And it's done for a variety of reasons, guys. And the variety of reasons is simply teams have caught on to what Arsenal are doing, and they're marking our wingers out of the game. That is the tactic we're seeing from teams every week. Second is that the players are just off form. So the two are combining into this thing. And this is something now, we're halfway through the season, and Arteta, after 10 games, and Nketiah started 9 games this season, scored 5 goals, and hasn't featured in the last 10 games, hasn't started. He has come on as an impact player, as a sub, but he tends to do well. He tends to do much better when you're starting games. We also have that issue with his away record is not very good, even though he scored away in the Champions League. So it's good to see him get the start today. It's baffling Martinelli starting today, but it's good to see Kiwior come on. Gary, let me know what your thoughts are on this team sheet. You can go into length and into details as much as you want, mate.
Yeah, just quickly, Apollo, just to touch on a point that you just made in like the way that I see it. And I did mention something along the lines on the last stream. You know, guys, people that are deeming guys like Nelson and Smith Rowe not good enough to start in this team, but yet the manager deem them good enough to come on when Arsenal were 2-0 down against West Ham to try and turn the game. If you're good enough to come off that bench to impact the game, you're good enough to play in the first 11. In my opinion, it's as simple as that. Because you ain't bringing on no 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid who's never played a game. You're bringing on a player that you feel can get in that team and make something happen. And we've seen Nelson do it, and we've seen Smith Rowe do it numerous times before he picked up his injury. So I believe both them players are good enough to play for Arsenal. So that's the little point that I just wanted to cover there. Moving on to the team sheet. I'm very surprised Martinelli keeps his place. He's been poor all season. Is he an Arteta favourite? Maybe that's the reason he keeps getting starts, because I don't see no other point in starting someone that's not really bringing anything to the team. So, surprised at that one. I'm glad Eddie's got a start. Zinchenko, I'm hearing, has a calf injury and is out till mid-January. So that's what I'm hearing, that he's out. But Kiwior deserves an opportunity to play. We signed the guy over a year ago. We haven't seen him.
Yeah, and he's a good player. We saw him at the World Cup. He's come in for us and had a couple of good, really, really good games. And we've just sat him on the bench and done nothing. And fair enough, he's a centre-back who can play across the board. Not as effective as Tomiyasu from what I've seen. But he's better as a centre-back. Yeah, whereas for me, Tomiyasu is better as a wing-back. And then centre-back is probably something he can do. Kiwior is the opposite. He's much better as a centre-back, not as effective as a wing-back.
But you can change the system. You can play the three at the back: Kiwior, Saliba, and Gabriel. The system doesn't have to be so rigid that it's not possible to change it. And Arteta, his biggest downfall is that he doesn't want to make significant changes when it's needed. And that could be the killing of this guy. And we've all seen him. He's brought Arsenal such a long way. And I don't want to see the guy foul. I don't want to see Arteta foul. I want to see him go on challenging for league titles, Champions League titles, FA Cups, League Cups. I want to see us challenging for everything. But unless he gets to grips with this stubbornness that he's got, it's going to be difficult, Apollo. It's going to be difficult because he'll end up getting the sack because the team just won't reach its full potential unless he decides to make the changes necessary when they need to be made. That's how I see it. Yeah, and I'm not bashing Arteta.
And what I do is I put it down to inexperience. But we know he's only been a manager for 4 years. If this was a Wenger team or an Alex Ferguson team, and you had your striker scoring 3 goals in 17 games, it just wouldn't be there. He'd be dropped.
It wouldn't have even happened, Apollo. It wouldn't have even happened. You're going into a season with a guy that that doesn't break the bank in scoring goals. Eddie scores goals, but he's relatively unproven for a whole. He's never played a whole season.
Yeah, that's right.
But I think if Eddie played 38 games, he's going to get you 15 to 20 goals. That's how I see it.
And that's why, for me, and a lot of people know I'm a big Eddie fan. I don't want to hide the fact that I'm a big Eddie fan. Shout out to Corey, shout out to Greg, shout out to Emerson, shout out to Cam as well. All of you guys in the chat. The thing about this is guys, and I made this case with Theo Walcott as well. If you've got a guy who's got the potential, you've got to, as a manager and as a team, you've got to nurture that potential and get it out of the player. You have no wins and fare no better if you're having that guy on the bench. And I'll make a comment. I'll see if I can find the stretch, actually. Hold on. I'll see if I can find it. But you have Nketiah getting off to a great start this season, 5 goals in 9 starts. And then Jesus comes back. And then you bench Eddie. Now, I don't have a problem with benching Eddie because Eddie is our backup and Jesus is our main striker. But Jesus has got to come in and hit the ground running and start scoring goals. And he hasn't done that. And so at some point, you've got to think to yourself, at some point you've got to think to yourself, I've got to go back to Eddie because Eddie was doing well when I started him. Yeah.
Not only that, Apollo. Not only has Jesus not scored, he's also missed some glaring chances. Yeah, that any striker at any level should have at least bagged one of them chances that he's missed, especially against West Ham.
Yeah.
Welcome, Mr. Cox.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Sorry, an article from when is the article? From 2015. I'm just trying to get this article here so that I can show you guys. So yeah, for me, guys, what I would have done and what would have seemed better is to drop Martinelli, who just isn't on it, put Jesus wide left and play Eddie up front. That's what I would have done over the last 5, 6, or 7 games, and I think you would have had a better result simply because Jesus is a creator. If you look at his heat map, he's not inside the 6-yard box. So when balls are going through into there and crosses are coming in, we've got no one getting on the end of them. That's number one. Number two, if Jesus is a better creator and facilitator, use his skill set better and put him out wide where he can dribble. He's number 1 in the team in dribbles. Martinelli can't go past the man. Jesus can. So you're utilizing all these different skill sets. There's a reason why Pep Guardiola played this guy on the left for his entire career at Man City, scored 94 goals in 230 games. And I know he came to Arsenal as a striker, but I'm sorry. If I was Mikel, I'd have that conversation with Jesus, we've given you the chance. We've been doing this for 2 years. And it's not working out. I'm going to have to go in a different direction. Are you okay? Because I'm going to play you on the left now. Okay, boss, anywhere. I'll play anywhere to help the team. That's the conversation that I would have. And then what you've done is you've set up the team where no more square hole and round pegs and all this stuff. Jesus does his best work on the left. Eddie places in his natural position. And you keep that until you go out and buy yourself a Victor Osimhen. Yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah,
Tony.
you know, like we said, there's so many permutations, but Arteta's got to get it right. And today's a massive game because the Premier League this season is so close. 2 bad results, you can end up down in 6th.
Yeah, so exactly. Tony, how are you, man?
I'm good, fella. I'm good. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody in advance of tonight's festivities. Just looking forward to a game. Look, Gary and I had so much to say about the game. Gary and I had so much to say about the game the other night. I think it was kind of like the death knell for Gabriel Jesus. It's just simply unacceptable. And it's not to say he's a bad player. It's just that he's not fulfilling the duties which you're expected of a striker. And number 9. And with that being the case,
It's a foul, bro. His foot was up in the air. Or don't that count these days?
So where are you guys? I'm just kicked off at 10 seconds.
40 seconds. Arsenal have it back.
For me.
Yeah, Arsenal have it back with Saliba. And it's a big game for it's a big game for Raya today. And a big game for White because listen, Raya hasn't covered himself in any glory since he's been in Arsenal number 1.
Yeah, I've not seen I've seen some improvements, like coming out like in the last game against West Ham when he came out on West Ham's counter attacks. He nullified 3 of those attacks because of his movement of coming out. He likes to come out, and his distribution has been okay. I wouldn't say it's been exceptional. It's been slightly better than Ramsdale, but then there's some things that I've seen where I think because he's a shorter, smaller goalkeeper, I think Ramsdale would have fared better. So yeah, I'm a bit. I like Raya, but I don't see that much of a big difference in the changeover.
Well, there's a huge difference. The big difference is height. I mean, Gary alludes to it regularly.
Yeah, Gary hates small goalkeepers, doesn't he?
I've got one. My son's a small goalkeeper. That's it.
I didn't think it was that big an issue, but I got to say, of
It's
late,
a great ball in from Declan Rice.
Strong Odegaard. Oh, Saka, you should have just
well
held.
done.
Oh, go on, Odegaard, hit it. Oh,
Oh, that was close. First
that
shot
was
on
unlucky.
target. That's good football.
But that's what we want to see. Shooting rather than this, trying to walk this ball into the net.
And to be honest, Gary, if we look at the West Ham game, the only player who did regularly seem to be shooting was Odegaard.
Yeah. Well, that's not that. It's not. That's about a foot wide.
Yeah.
Well, Lewis is at the game, so we have one of our panelists, Lewis, who's actually at the game at the moment. I'm just looking for. Oh, here we go. Right. Right, I'm just looking. I'm just sending. I've just sent Emerson a link. Emerson, if you want to join, I've just sent you a link. So, where's the strengths with Fulham this season? I just think they're a well-coached, well-compact team, and I think that they're very disciplined. They don't make too many mistakes. They have goals in them now, but they're not dominant. They're not dominant.
You should have been there, man. Why are you there?
They're not dominant in any phase of the game, defense, midfield, or up front. They're just a well-run, balanced team. They remind me of sort of how Brighton was improving before they got up to the upper echelon of the Premier League.
Oh, Kiwior, you can't get done there.
Yeah, it's a good ball from Willian. It's a good ball from Willian.
Kiwior shouldn't get beat on the inside like that.
Should never.
But here come Arsenal with Martinelli on the edge of the Fulham penalty area. Quick throw out by Raya. Now cut in Martinelli and hit it. Hit it. Oh!
It's got offside. Goal.
Saka.
Goal given.
No, Saka's put it in.
Yeah, it's a goal.
But the linesman hasn't put the flag up.
No, yeah, it's a goal.
The linesman is in line.
Yeah.
We'll see in a second.
But that's what you want to see. Cut in and hit it. You only play with your right foot. Stop going to the left. It ain't going to do nothing for you.
Yeah, it looks like the goal's been given.
I'm just watching it now.
Yeah.
I'm just watching it now. He's onside. He's onside. Oh, that is close. That is close.
I think he's on. I think the player at the front of the box.
Yeah, Tony, that is close, man. That's going to go down the wire because that is very close. It's not. He moves after the ball is shot.
Yeah. So that's the point. The point they're looking at.
Yeah, but what I'm saying,
when Martinelli takes the shot, the point at that point, I think he's just on.
Yeah, I think he's onside. I think he's onside. I think he's just onside. Emerson, how are you doing, my brother?
Yeah, it's onside, goal given, game restarted.
Yeah.
But that's what you want to see from Martinelli. Exactly that.
That's the best bit of play he's had in like 4 games.
It's the best bit of play he's had all season, Tom. We're 4 games.
Literally. Taking on a man, getting a dangerous cross or shot on
Hi, guys.
That's all you need to keep doing.
But that's literally the first time we've seen him do that, Tony.
Yeah.
That's the first time. He always wants to go down the left. He doesn't use his left foot, which is why I always...
Even in this situation, as good as it is, you still fail to use your left foot.
Well, we can't have everything. But this is why I say, Tone, and I've said it on numerous streams, why don't the wingers swap? You've got a left-footed playing over there, right-footer playing here. Swap them over.
Guys, look at the work Nketiah is doing. First of all, he's shadowing Havertz to double team Iwobi. Then he goes out to the left and then shadows the help that the left back is getting. And now he's back up point.
Eddie's work rate has improved tenfold since last year.
This is a lot of people have complained about Zinchenko. Hey, Nay, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's a great start. A lot of people are talking about the Zinchenko issue, but some of that, guys, is tactical. He's getting no support from Martinelli dropping back there. And then you also notice Kai Havertz also drops back there as well, which Xhaka used to do last season. So the Zinchenko issue has been highlighted by the fact that he can't defend and he's not a left back, but that he's getting no support as well. And I think that needs to be a conversation, not just the fact that he's not a good defender and he's getting skinned. It's where's the cover?
I'll tell you what is underrated here is look at the Kai Havertz, Declan Rice double pivot.
Well done, Kiwior.
Yeah, Kiwior, nice.
Because you've seen the stats. Havertz is tackling and his work rate in defensive mode is astronomical.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the time the thing with Zinchenko, he gets caught out by the ball the ball over the top or inside of him, and he shouldn't get caught out like that on the regularly.
Yeah.
You know, once or twice, you can say okay, but literally you're looking at every single ball that goes there. I mean, look at the tackle he made the other day, Tone, against West Ham. He tackled so early, the guy could have made a cup of tea, had a packed lunch, saw him coming, knocked the ball past him, and they said they get the free kick. That didn't lead to the first goal. Because he didn't need to give away the free kick.
Shout out to Jamie Andrews in the chat. He says the fox in the box is playing. Yeah. And we're looking for a good game from Eddie today. Scoring away from home is one of his weaknesses. So it'd be really good if he gets off the mark today.
Is that ball?
Yeah, I thought it was. Now he's going to give a free kick to Fulham.
No, he hasn't. No,
he doesn't.
Not there, Odegaard.
Arsenal really excelling in playing in tight spaces.
Well done, Eddie. And Eddie comes, picks the ball up, shields it well, wins a little free kick.
Yeah,
is it Polina?
And that's what I mean. When you're, it's coached, Gary. It's coached as overloads in the midfield.
They're just looking at that tackle again. It was a foul from Polina.
It wasn't high though. It wasn't high.
It wasn't.
No, it wasn't. Not staying in the car, but it was definitely a foul. He caught him on the edge of the toe.
The one thing I have to see in this game, guys, that was horrible in West Ham was the amount of passes.
Well done, Kiwior. Now go, Martinelli. Cut in, cross it.
Oh, it's a bad cross.
Eddie, you should have been there. No, that was a good cross. Eddie was 5 yards behind everyone else.
Yeah, but it's swinging inside the 6-yard line. You want it just outside the 6-yard line.
Yeah,
so
but what I'm saying is, if you look at Eddie's position, 5 yards further forward, he can make a run to get a little flick on that. Eddie's too deep.
That's goalkeeper's ball all day long, Gary. It's too close to the goalie. If you put a foot or 2 feet away, goalkeeper stays on his line and doesn't come out.
I think Eddie's off the pace there.
That's a goalkeeper ball all day.
Score update from Tottenham, 1-0.
To who?
Papa Sarr scored.
Apollo, if you didn't hear that, score update, 1-0 from White Hart Lane.
Yeah,
Sarr.
Song. I think Song it was. I think
Sarr,
they said on the cat.
It's Sarr. It's Sarr.
Yeah, Sarr. Came up on the screen on Sky.
Okay then. Because I
why are you watching Tottenham?
I thought it was Song.
Emerson.
He's not. It flashed up on the screen.
Yeah, I think he's secretly watching Tottenham. He's a secret agent.
Bottom of my screen.
Yeah, it flashed up on the screen. Jamie says, dare we say it against West Ham? And I'm prepared for the uproar.
When I got you guys on the screen.
And Jamie says that we missed Havertz in that game. Yeah, we did. Havertz does all the dirty work in the midfield. We really did miss him in that game. We really did. I gave everybody a 4 in that game. I don't know what you guys did for player ratings.
We didn't even do player ratings. We were so despondent, man. Tony left me for full time.
Tony was like, I'm out of here, man. See you guys later.
Tony left to beat the traffic to the kitchen.
Apollo, Gary, and Tony, be aware that Kiwior can be roasted on the left-hand side of the defence.
It's about well done, Kai Havertz. Good shielding the ball there.
Yeah.
If you didn't hear me earlier, I'd just say be aware that Kiwior's going to be roasted on the left-hand side if Fulham get the possession on that side.
Yeah, and really, and that means again, same thing I talked about. Emerson in regards to the backup, where's the cover going to be coming from Martinelli or Kai Havertz You know, it's that cover, that tactical help to help players deal with all of those threats that are coming up
I
against
think
them.
the difference with Kiwior and Zinchenko is Kiwior got half a chance of making a tackle because he is actually a defender.
I honestly think the biggest difference is that the way they use their body. Kiwior just uses his body better than, and when I talk about using the body, I'm talking about angles, I'm talking about defensive lines, I'm talking about gap play. He's just a better defender.
Don't press him. He doesn't want it at his feet. He doesn't want it, Eddie.
Guys, remember when West Ham came here?
Oh my God, where's Ben White? What are you doing?
Ben White's been atrocious this season. I cannot wait for Tommy to get better.
So Fulham have got the ball, and it's with their left back. He pumps it down the line, and Ben White, for some reason, is inverted.
What is Jimenez got on his? What is Jimenez got on his head? Is it? It looks like an eye patch.
No, that's where he fractured his skull tone, isn't it?
Yeah.
What, that thing that there?
Yeah, it's where he fractured. It's where he fractured his skull. That's why he wears it on his head. It's a little pad, isn't it?
Remember he fractured.
Yeah, that was bad.
That doesn't look right. I don't know why, but it just doesn't look right. Come on.
It won't be there, man.
No, it was Martinelli who gave the ball away there.
Good save by Raya. Good save by Raya from Jimenez.
Yeah, I'm on 13 minutes and 45 seconds.
Yeah, you're the same as me, Apollo.
Yeah, we're all the same.
Ben White, you're facing the wrong way. This guy.
I'm a minute ahead of you guys.
Ben White's lost it.
Ben White is facing the wrong way. He doesn't even see he can go and nick that ball or put the pressure on the guy. He's not doing anything.
That's what I said to you.
Just to turn.
He's passive, man. He's playing too passive. He's not getting stuck in. He's sitting off.
And Raya got lucky there because it hit him in the face.
Yeah.
Raya got lucky there because it skipped over his hand and hit him in the face.
Fulham in full press now, guys. Well done, David Raya.
Oh, what a turn. Well played, Eddie. What a touch and turn. The defender out of the game.
That's the second time that guy's done that. Let's see what you do, referee. Look, Eddie, nice first touch there from Eddie.
But you see the difference there between him and Jesus there. One touch takes the guy away. And if that's Jesus, he wants to beat that guy 3 times.
Yeah, he wants to dribble. All right, guys, hold on. I'm going to take my medication. I'll be back in a second.
Look, can you pause?
Wow, there was a rarity, Gal.
Why would you do that? Yeah, his game has got to be to cut back on his right foot. But why would Gabriel give away a silly foul there right on the corner flag? I don't know why players do that. You know that. So frustrating.
Just me and you, then, Gary, at the moment?
No, I'm here. Just fixing up a bit of lunch.
Okay, then. Okay, Tony. I know you're eating something because that's what you're eating off there. Tackle. Wide. Play it wide again. That's it. That's it. Foul. That should be a foul, ref. Cheat.
That was well played by Fulham to get out of that.
Yeah, very well.
Great tackle, Ben.
That's a foul. You're picking off the ball.
What? How's that not a foul?
It's joke. Just a joke, Tone, isn't it? It's sure it's not April 1st we're playing.
Unbelievable. Most obvious foul I've ever seen. It's a joke. It's absolutely a joke. Which is why ultimately you know, some things in life you just kind of get used to them, don't you? I mean, you soften, you kind of just acclimatized now. Police brutality on black people and
Williams just shot wide, well wide, guys. Yeah.
Look, see, Ben, we're vacating that space too.
After I've seen it.
That space is vacated all the time.
Yeah, but you can see that Declan Rice is covered in. Shot wide from Willian.
Oh, you.
Kiwior's got to get out quicker than that.
The one who's got to get out quicker is Ben White, because Kiwior's player is only putting a cross in, whereas Ben White's player is actually having a shot on goal.
Yeah, I think Kiwior's got to get out quicker to stop the cross coming in.
Yeah.
One goal in 37 appearances for Arsenal from Willian. No, what are you doing, Saliba? Oh, Jesus.
And that was only a free kick.
Well done, Eddie. Calvin Bassey's under pressure. Oh, unlucky there.
Evening or good morning rather for Mr. Cranky, Mr. Cronky.
Too greedy.
Tomiyasu on the
Too
bench,
greedy.
Emerson.
No.
Get that.
Oh, is he? Yes, he is, Tone.
I thought so because I knew he was back in full training.
Say that again? Who? Who did you say?
Tomiyasu.
Training, yeah, Trossard is on the bench. No, there's no academy players on the bench today.
Oh.
Yeah, he's on the bench. Tomiyasu's on the bench. But as I said, no academy players on the bench.
What are you doing, Raz? If you're going to stop that from going out for a corner.
Was dropped.
So they're looking at a possible penalty here. And you know what? This might be given, you know. Saliba goes to kick the ball and
it's overturned.
Deckled over Reed. He kicks Deckled over Reed.
But he never had the ball.
Neither of them had the ball. So Fulham.
I agree with that. That said on the chat, Cranky, he said we're struggling on the left-hand side. I agree.
I think we're struggling down both sides.
Yeah, Bertram's not a fan of Kiwior.
I think he's serviceable.
Well done.
I don't think he's a scrub.
That's it.
Cam says Iwobi has all the tools for a quality player, but seems like he could never put it together. I think he's put it together. I think he was good at Everton, and I think he's good at Fulham.
Cross.
I think what it was with Iwobi, we played him as a winger. He's not a winger.
He's a number 10.
Oh,
Ray's gone down with an injury, guys.
Good. My son's
Ray's
cheering.
gone down with an injury, guys. But it doesn't look serious, though. It's an eye injury.
Come on, Gary. You can't cheer on injuries like that.
What? That Ray has gone down with an injury. This is what
I don't want to see any Arsenal player injured, really, but I just think Ramsdale's the better guy.
I wonder what it is. He's holding.
I've got a feeling it's a tactical.
No, it's his right eye.
It's contact lenses.
This is more of a tactical substitution than anything else. Yeah. I don't think he wears contact lenses, Apollo.
Okay. So I wonder what that was then.
That's probably where the ball hit him in the face when he made that save. The save that he made, the ball actually hit him in the face, didn't it?
Yeah. Let's have a look here.
Could be.
No, this is the goal that they're showing again.
Oh. Martinelli, normally facing double teams, has got nobody near him.
Yeah, but that was because it was a quick break.
Yeah.
They didn't have time to get the double team on.
Let me see. Does Martinelli get the assist for that? Let's.
Ray's okay, guys. Just to let you know.
Yeah. No,
they
Martinelli
can't
doesn't get the assist.
The goalkeeper parried the ball to.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
It's an assist for Leno. Once a gunner, always a gunner.
We're facing 3 of them, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
Sit down, Aaron.
Okay, so Fulham have had 4 shots since Saka scored. Arsenal have had none.
Yeah. And you know what I'm going to say, Tony? This is the Premier League. It's what happens. This team beat West Ham 5-1 at home. Yeah?
Didn't they score 5 in consecutive games?
Yeah, let that just sink into you guys watching this, thinking Arsenal could run away with this. There's no easy games in the Premier League, guys.
It's 5-0 at Fulham, beat Fulham 5-0. Fulham beat Fulham 5-0. Fulham beat Forest 5-0 at home, and then they beat West Ham 5-0.
If the Luton experience hasn't humbled Arsenal fans, then nothing will.
I think some of the football we play is just too expansive in it when it doesn't really need to be. We watch all these teams that we play against, keep it simple.
Yeah, I wouldn't say expansive. I'd say predictable. They know that Martinelli and Saka are the stars of the team. So now they've been double teamed. We're having to come up with a plan B, and we're not very good at a plan B at the moment.
But when I say expansive, I mean what I really mean is our overplay just kills every move that we make.
Yeah.
You know, we watch these teams simple. Yeah, it's simple, and we're trying to overplay, and it kills what could be good moves. Oh, yeah, because to give it away.
We're not as direct in our play. You know, you've seen Smith Rowe when he comes on, he's thinking one thing: score goals. You've seen Theo Walcott every time he gets the ball, he wants to run forward, take on guys, and have a shot at the goalkeeper. We're just missing that directness. There's too much ticky-tacky football and not enough impact of direct football. There's just not enough of it. No urgency.
I mean, ultimately, that boils down to your front 3. Because as Bertram has always said, you know, the front 3 for Liverpool create their own opportunity.
That's a great ball by Kai Havertz.
Just too much on it.
I think
just too much on it.
I think Saka slipped.
See, in that situation there, that ball is a hard one to play. Saka can drive into that space. See, why is Ben White inverted again? Why is he inverted when there's nobody there?
Who?
Ben White.
Yeah, Ben White.
He was in his left back spot.
No, he wasn't. He was inverted, Tone. That's not the right back spot. You ain't standing there.
How did he make the tackle, Gal?
because he has to run back.
To be honest.
But as you look at it now, Saka is in the right back spot. Ben White is where Saka was now. He's playing a little bit inverted. I don't understand why.
That's Saka's man.
Yeah, now it is. But I'm talking about when the goal kick was played. When the ball was played down the line, their left back gets there, but Ben White should already be in that space.
Oh, stupid ref.
One of you.
3 of them all looking at each other.
Yeah.
Cam says Tony's on the burger tip, guys. What are you
1-1,
eating
guys.
today?
1-1. Jimenez.
Oh wow!
Well, you can't say that Fulham don't deserve it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
1-1.
They're a good team, and anyone who's thought Arsenal's going to come here and have it all their way.
Yeah, good
Come on,
breakaway
man.
goal for Fulham.
Yeah, but Kiwior shouldn't be beat there.
No way.
It's a good goal.
It's a very good goal, but Kiwior shouldn't be beat like that. But going back to the start of the move, why doesn't Saka just hold the ball and control it and bring someone else into the game? Instead of trying to turn, just hold the ball. Look, he's got the ball there, just hold it. You've got to be strong, you've got to be better than that. And from there, it's easy for them. Too easy.
So there's no Ben White anywhere to be seen. So Saliba's the one that has to push up there, and then Gabriel pushes up for the cross. So both of our centre backs are out of action. So we've actually got Kai Havertz, and it looks like Kiwior defending that cross. So
You know what? That's a great cross, but Saka's got to be better there. He's got to hold that ball up. You can't be beat like that when we're on the offense because everyone's pushing forward. One pass later, they're on the edge of our box crossing the ball.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I like I said, none of your centre backs were in the penalty area when that cross comes in.
Yeah, because you got Saliba covering for Ben White.
Yeah,
you got Gabriel covering for Saliba.
Yeah.
That leaves you with Havertz. Why is Havertz the 8 tracking back?
I know.
Havertz the 8 is the closest player after Gabriel.
Yeah. I mean, even though we were stretched, we still had players in place to make plays there. But Havertz looks like he's got the initial striker covered, but Kiwior just gets beaten by him and us on the far post.
No, the cross was fantastic, Apollo.
Yeah, it was.
The cross was brilliant. You can't blame Kiwior for that.
Guys.
Who's that?
Martinelli.
It's just gone down. Ouch. On his left ankle.
But that's what I'm talking about, the simple football. They win the ball. The first pass splits everyone. Because we're so offensive and everyone has gone gun-ho and gone, yeah, we're going to score here. And they all pushed up before Saka's even controlled the ball. That when it does break, it's easy for the opposition.
Yeah, it just looks like a knock on the ankle. Arsenal got it all to do now after a great start. Bertram says Kiwior, like most left footers, has no right foot. And why is he trying to clear it with his left foot? It's Odegaard now, guys.
It's a bad ball.
Yeah, well, Saka needed that more to the
And
left.
that's another bad ball behind Eddie.
Bad ball. Yeah. Referee's quick to blow that, but when Saka gets pushed over when he's on the ball, you don't want to blow the whistle there, ref. Yeah, we see you. We see exactly what you're on about.
I don't even think that's a foul.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's okay to push over Saka on the ball right in front of you, but then as soon as something like that happens, you blow your whistle before anything even happens.
Caught Declan Martinelli dropped it into the box.
He needs a comeback game after that West Ham performance. He does. I've never seen Declan Rice give the ball away so much. Him and Odegaard, like, what are we doing? I've just never seen both of them this season play that way. And I've got to be fair, we're many things. That's a great ball here by Gabriel. Great ball by Gabriel. That's better from Odegaard.
Shoot.
Yeah, so it was on his right foot, wasn't it?
Martinelli finally in 101. That's
Oh,
that's a weird
unlucky,
one.
unlucky.
Yeah, it looks like Odegaard miskicks it. The header comes back from Saka. It falls to Odegaard.
It fell to Nketiah. Odegaard.
No, it's gone to Odegaard, but it's the defender whose leg was in the way. It cut off Odegaard's leg, so he couldn't get any contact with it.
And then it fell to Nketiah. It just come off his shin. Easy save for Leonard.
So Albert headphones and Arteta doing
Throw the ball, Kiwior.
doing the old NFL Microsoft Surface there, just looking at replays.
Throw the ball, man. It takes 3 days to make a throw.
Go on, that's it, Eddie. I think Eddie might be offside there. What's the capacity of Fulham Stadium? Look how tiny it is.
Fulham's I used to work there on the turnstiles. Fulham's a creaky old ground, man. Still got wooden seats, isn't it?
I just looked at one level. I thought, what's going on there?
It's just over the 25,000 because it's not a new part they built on, and there's no fans sitting in there.
Yeah, I'm just looking at on Wikipedia. It says 22,000. Yeah, because that's not a lot at all. Their record is 49,000, and that was standing.
Don't forget when you look at the camera angles, you can see you see a difference as well. Well done, Havertz. Go on. Go on. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Unlucky.
Oh, come on, Ben White. How have you got under pressure to that ball, Ben White?
Okay.
That's better. Passing
Well
there.
done,
Well done, Havertz.
You haven't made the right run for him, have you, Martinelli?
Yeah, Martinelli's gone inside, and he's expecting it to go outside. And Martinelli's actually run into 2 defenders there.
He's looking for a definitive move where he can either play.
Oh, if Eddie had that turn there, he would have been in on goal.
I think Eddie should have just posted up and held the ball.
No, they were in front of him, so they had the advantage. But had the ball gone through there, he'd have been clean on. That's out.
No, it ain't.
Yeah, that's out.
We have no camera angle that supports this. Even though his whole body is out of play, and you can clearly see the post and the line and his leg, but you can't see any of the ball.
Yeah, Fulham hadn't scored a goal in the last 3 games.
Well done, Kiwior.
Yeah, they look.
Yeah, after a terrible throw. After a terrible throw, he redeemed himself.
Yeah, I agree with you, Bertram. Odegaard been very wasteful. Very wasteful indeed.
What was that?
I don't know, but I was going to turn it on mute. Yeah, I think Tony might have one of those coffee makers or something like that.
Tony's blending something, man. He's doing hoovering. Hoovering up his lunch crumbs, isn't it? That's what's going on over there.
That's hoovering up his lunch crumbs. So the game has settled down somewhat, but
you can control that, Saliba. Head it. Why don't you head it Odegaard? If you would have just flicked that header to his left,
yeah,
took the foul instead.
Yeah, but if he just flicks that header over to his left, was it Saka that was next to him?
The old solar plexus punch wins you for 20 seconds.
G says Martinelli is trending towards Anthony at present. It's infuriating.
Based on production, he is. Because they're pretty much what? Both of them are on 2 goals. I'm not even sure Anthony's got 2 goals.
If all the Fulham players just stood there. Hit it. Oh, that's not a foul. No, that's not a foul in the back.
It should be in a foul on Saka.
That's not a foul in the.
He's gone the other way, offside.
It's gone the other way.
No. Then he's give a foul. That's in the back. It's a push in the back
all day. All day.
Eddie's gone down, guys.
It's not even close. It's not even close. It's not even close.
So this is why, a couple of weeks ago, Gary said he's got frustrated because it's not even football anymore.
Yeah.
The officiating is so obvious.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's so.
I mean, that's not even close. And look, he just kicked him in the. He just kicked him in the stomach.
Where's the yellow card?
He just kicked him in the chest.
Where's the yellow card? Where's the yellow card? Oh,
do you know what I want to see? I want to see football go more like rugby. They've got to look at some of these things on the screen and get these decisions right, man. That's like an assault. If you don't say that to someone in the street, man, the police are coming after you.
Yeah. Fulham in press now. Fulham in the press.
Well done, Gabriel. Wrong option.
What a terrible ball.
Yeah, it's got 3 white shirts around him.
Literally. What was he trying to do?
Yeah.
See there, I want to see that ball played over the top for Eddie's run. Eddie was making a diagonal. You got to try and knock that ball over the top.
This is one of my frustrations with Gabriel Magalhaes. He has no capability of.
He just kicked the ball away. He just kicked the ball away, no? He just kicked the ball away, Iwobi.
No, it was in bounds. He was still in play.
No, it went out for a throw. And as he controlled it outside the line, and to stop Arsenal taking the throw, he backheeled it away.
Okay. No biggie. I'll live with that all day.
So Jesus is warming up. I've got a feeling it's going to be for Saka.
Yeah. Martinelli, this goes close, guys. Just goes close.
Saka's there's nothing wrong with Saka.
I just thought we might have picked up a little injury.
Oh, wow.
Left foot, just put it wide.
Yeah, someone just said he's got the case of Richarlison's or something like that. Yeah, here it is. Saka never beats his man. Martinelli has a bad case of the Richarlisons.
Saka just beat his man.
Yeah,
Martinelli
exactly.
almost scored.
So all the people who say he never beats his man, they don't beat him down one side. He beats him in other ways.
Yeah, Bertram says that a lot as well.
Yeah, that's Bertram's favourite go-to line.
I don't see how anybody can criticise Saka for production. Not when he's got the amount of assists that he's got in the league.
Yeah, first 10
You
weeks of
think,
the
Gabriel,
season, he
you
was
just
top
put
5 in
yourself
Europe.
into trouble, man.
Top 5 in Europe. And correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't he the top goals and assists person in the Champions League in the group stages?
Yeah, exactly.
12,
It's ridiculous how anyone could like, look, I'm not going to deny he's had a goal drought for a little while, so I'm glad to see he scored again today. But his production has never dropped off.
Well, I think that officially makes him our leading goal scorer, Tony.
That's a terrible ball, man.
Gabriel, his passing is seriously, he's never been that good at passing. Go on, play on.
Yeah, that's better, Eddie. Eddie comes back to help win it back. He's got Havertz on the break and then
Use the Odegaard. Use the ball.
Jesus Christ.
For the love of God.
Nay said, leave her son alone.
Nay, when he gets in, you better take the whip to him.
Yeah, he made a bad decision there.
You better take the belt to him, Nay, when he gets in. Come on, man. Use the damn ball.
That's not handball. That's well played.
Saka, that's a terrible clearance. You might as well just let it go out for a throw.
It was going to come back anyway.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, but let it come back from further away, Tone.
And Tosa's just taken the worst shot in Premier League. Well, this season in the Premier League.
Eddie's had one touch in the box.
Yeah, it's not enough, man. There's got no service. Look where he's had to come to get the ball. He's helping the team out.
Eddie relies on service. If you're not producing that kind of service, you ain't going to get nothing from him.
What a touch, Havertz.
That was on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And look, Martinelli gives the ball away. Look, I'm sick and tired of this, man. Thank God I've got to go to work for the second half, man.
Going on.
It's a joke. We can't even put two passes together.
That is a fantastic header from Gabriel.
4 minutes added
It
on.
looked like that was a fantastic header from Gabriel. Fulham looked like they were going to go 2-1 up.
Just use it. That should be a yellow card. That should be a yellow card.
Well, yeah.
Pulling a man back is a yellow card.
But not only he pulled him back, but he's about to pass the ball. He's away from him. It should be a yellow card.
That's stopping a goal opportunity, isn't it?
Well, not goal opportunity, he's stopping a forward attack, innit? But it should be a yellow card.
Potentially a goal opportunity.
Could have been. We will never know.
Oh, Saka. I just bigged you up.
You done what?
He never goes past his man. He never goes past his man. Bertrand was right.
Terrible cross by Odegaard there.
Eddie goes close.
No, Saliba.
Eddie goes close.
Saliba should never have chased that ball there.
He knew that.
He knew that Raya was there, did he?
Was going to cover.
Go on, Eddie. That's the turn that Eddie wanted.
He's got to look to cross that, though.
Yeah, the angle was against him all the time. But Eddie likes to sit there in between those defenders and get the ball in the slip. He was offside anyway. He's offside, yeah. But that's where he likes the ball. He likes it played right in between those defenders so that he can turn and shoot. That's almost his MO, but he's got the angle against him there. So Cam says Kiwior is average at this point. I'm sorry, but he's not really up to our level in the role we're asking of him. We're asking him to play left back and he's a centre back. That's probably why. Yes. We're asking him to fill in a role which is not centre back, and you're asking those kind of questions. It's almost counterproductive, that question, Cam. Isn't it?
Yeah, you're asking to play inverted left back as well.
Remember when we played El Nene at centre back and left back, and everyone was talking about how trash he was? That's maybe because he weren't a left back and centre back.
Right, guys, I've got to love you and leave you because I've got to go to work. Working New Year's Eve, man. I'll people that don't drink get all these good jobs.
I hear you, bro. Have a good one.
Everyone have a blessed New Year. Everyone stay safe.
Gary.
And I'll see you all soon, yeah?
Yeah,
see you, guys.
To you, man.
Bye.
Yeah. We'll speak again next Sunday.
Right, we've got Martinelli working the ball on the left-hand side again. Declan Rice has a shot, but that is just nowhere. This game's got a draw all over it.
Half-time, guys.
Yeah. Arteta making some more notes with his Sharpie. Yes, it's not been an easy half, and it never is when you're away from home. But yeah, I mean, Arsenal used to be the team that keeps clean sheets away from home, so you can see that they're buckling here. Saka, some really unheard of calls that he's had. They're just fouling him at will, and the referee's doing nothing against it. And it's half time. Let me put a banner up for half time. I'd say the result at the moment is probably fair, Tony.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, mate. So, 24 hours from now, who's donning an Arsenal shirt in 24 hours?
Nobody.
It's a shame, isn't it?
Oh, I think they got to do the smart thing, innit? And I've got to think about. I had this conversation with Colin about 3 days ago. I left a comment in the forum, and they've had the guy from CCD down there twice this season to ensure that their books are up to scratch, so they know where they are as far as FFP. And so if there's a deal next month, it will either be a loan or it will either be something like David Raya, where you've agreed to buy the player in the summer, and then you sort of facilitate a small loan fee. Then in the summer you have the obligation to buy. So that's the only thing that I can think of. That's your A. Your plan B is then to sell your players to generate funds. And I just don't know how that works. What does that look like?
Okay.
You know, is the Smith Rowe go? I don't know what.
I mean, you're the financial guy. Has not 5 months of Champions League generated sufficient funds to go out and spend?
Yeah, but that doesn't count. That counts towards next year's money, not this year's money.
Well, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it counts as that yearly income against next year, not this year.
Okay, if that's the case, then we know we got money to spend.
Yeah, of course, Tony. Next year is huge. The stadium rights deal gets redone. The Adidas's acceleration comes into play. There's a new Dubai. I think it's Shanky Crossy or something like that. There's a new commercial deal we have with a Dubai company. I mean, next year we're going to be doubling our financial commercial business. Next year is going to be huge, mate. Absolutely massive.
So does that mean we have a change of one of the sponsors, or do we have another sponsor?
We have another sponsor.
Another
Yeah,
sponsor.
Yeah.
So in terms of the deals, I mean, obviously Emirates are paying for the stadium. Emirates are paying for the shirt logo.
Yeah. So that deal is 20 million a year. Next year's
Right.
deal is looking to be around 50 to 60 million a year. So that's then an increase of 30, 40 million per season. The Adidas Accelerator is an increase of 35 million a year. So just those two deals, there's an extra 70, 75 million just by itself per season. That's not including the other smaller deals like the Shanky deal. That's not including the increased revenue from the new Sky TV deal. You know, the new TV deal, which is going up to from 5.1 billion to 6.7 billion. So there's next season is going to be a huge amount of difference in terms of what we're able to spend. You're talking about an extra probably 110 to 130 million per season.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I said to you that the Victor Osimhen, the release clause is 130 million euros, which is what, 112 million pounds. We've got enough extra revenue, Tony, to buy Osimhen just from the increases. Forget the normal amount of income. The increased commercial businesses is enough money to just buy Osimhen and break his release clause. That's how much revenue.
It's Osimhen, not Osimhen.
I thought it was H-E-N. I thought it was H-E-N.
The H comes before the M.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you, Alex. Wishing you a best one, mate. Wishing you a good one, man. Alex, can you tell me if oh no, I'm not sure if the back 5 podcast is on tomorrow. You'll have to let me know because I'm not even sure if I'm going to be in because it's New Year's Day and it's my niece's birthday and we normally go up to hers on New Year's Day to have a party there. So let me know. So guys, yeah, first half for me, a little bit disappointing because we let the goal in, but it was a well-worked goal by Fulham and credit to them. They pulled us out of shape. We had no Ben White, which meant, he was in an advanced position, which meant both of our centre-backs were out of the penalty area when that ball was played. I'm going to pull up the first half stats here. Let me see if I can get this so that we can see what we're working with. Arsenal, on paper, Arsenal looked like they were the better team.
Really?
Yeah, I'm looking at the statistics now. I'm just going to get them up.
I thought it was kind of evens all round because after the goal, Fulham had a lot of possession.
Right, here they are. Right, let's have a look at this and see what we're working with. Halftime statistics. So, guys, halftime statistics. Let me get rid of the banner. Can we blow this up a little bit more for you guys to see it? So, halftime statistics. You can see that not the XG, mate. We're nearly tripling them on the expected goals.
Stop. I think you need to stop using that XG thing. It's absolute rubbish.
I think it's a really good stat. Total shots is even. Shots. We've had one more shot. We've had one more shot on target. And from
so it's even.
It's pretty even.
It's an even game.
Yeah. From there, it's pretty much even all the way down, except for the XG. Yeah. I've been impressed with Willian, though. And look, I've been watching him play all year. Why didn't Willian play like this when he was in an Arsenal shirt? Is anyone's question. I really don't know what happened there.
How bad was he under Emery? Good Lord.
The thing is, you'd expect him, with all the Brazilian contingency, you'd expect him to really feel at home. But for some reason, something just wasn't right there.
Yeah. Dominic Solanke's been taken off, I think.
Oh no, that screws up my my prediction. That messes my prediction up.
He might be back because it's halftime at Tottenham, and it's half time, so he's gone off at half time. But yeah.
Yeah, so guys, Arsenal have got to come out in the second half and be in the mood to reclaim top spot in the table. I mean, right now, if I'm Arteta, I'm talking to them about a win today puts us at the back of the top of the table. If you lose today, the way the table is so competitive up top there at the table, the way things are, you could end up in 5th place. Yeah, that's how bad things are. You could literally,
you can't.
If Man City win, Man City's played one game less than us.
No, that would be 4th. We could only be in 4th. We can't.
Yeah,
be
4th.
5th.
Sorry, 4th. Yeah, I'm just looking at the table now. I just put the table up now. Yeah, because Spurs are on 37.
Yeah.
And of course, that happened over the weekend where we went from 1st to 4th. That's the reality of how competitive it is up there, guys.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it, man.
As you said, if we go on to win the game, we're back on the top of the table again for a few hours, at least. Or at least till tomorrow, because there is only 2 games today.
At least next week it's FA Cup weekend, so we've got a free weekend.
Yeah, but Newcastle Liverpool play tomorrow.
So what I would like to see in the second half is Jesus for Martinelli. I would also like to see Tomiyasu come on for Kiwior. I do understand Tomiyasu hasn't played in a while. He's been out for 4 or 5 weeks. I think it's 4 weeks. I think maybe 20 minutes would be fair on Tomiyasu. What's your thoughts, Emerson? What would you like to see in the second half?
I'll agree with you with that Kiwior and Tomiyasu one, but not that Martinelli and Jesus just yet. Give it at least 20 minutes into the second half and see if there's anything has changed in the way we play. What you said earlier regarding I didn't get the finances side of you. You didn't explain. You didn't say, Tony, that we've got a new club doctor starting on July the 1st, which I told you last week. If you remember.
Yeah.
Say that again, Emerson. We've got a new
club doctor.
Yeah, on July the 1st, I shall get a new club doctor on July the 1st from Crystal Palace.
Okay.
As well, but the current club doctor that's still there, she's serving out her notice until he comes in. So she's still there at the moment, and another doctor as well, but I don't know his name as well. So I saw them when they played on Thursday when I was at the team hotel on Thursday. I didn't see the guy, but I saw her at the team hotel, and as we know, at the team hotel, hardly any of the Arsenal, only a few Arsenal fans recognise all these darts players at this team hotel in Islington. All the other fans, these Chinese fans or Japanese fans, whatever they were, they didn't really recognise them. But that one who beat Barney last night is at the Tottenham game today. Although he's a Man United fan, just to let you know. And that was one of the lucky ones that had a photo with. So you would have seen that on Facebook that I put up in the last few days. So I did get around. So I know who our darts players are when I see them.
I think Arsenal in January is going to make or break our season. It's going to be really interesting to see, first of all, which directions they take in various different aspects. And number one, the transfer market. Will they come out of their protected and well-planned ethos of running the FFP books as clean and white as possible and maybe take a Chelsea approach? Because the new 5-year UEFA agreement doesn't come out until next summer. So I don't think they will facilitate any contracts over 5 years. We know that that's not allowed anymore from UEFA. But will they try and do something which
But
stretches
when
that.
does
I don't
does
think
that
they will.
take effect, Apollo? Because is that an immediate thing? Because I think Chelsea done it, even although they changed the loophole.
Yeah, I think there's a caveat
I think
to
you
that.
had to. I mean, is it not like you have to give like a year's notice?
Yeah, but remember that rule was only in the FA, not in Europe. So Europa haven't applied that rule yet. So take, for instance, the FA Premier League, you cannot do it. If you do, you get a points deduction. But if Chelsea was to go and do it in Europe, then they would be heavily,
That makes no
extremely
sense, Apollo.
How do you mean? No, sorry, it's the other way around. The rule is in. Yeah, sorry. If the rule is in UEFA, not in the Premier League, not in the FA. So Chelsea have done these 7-year contracts, 8-year contracts. If they were in the Champions League or Europa, they would get punished. But they're not. So the rule doesn't apply to them. If it's in the Premier League, they can get away with it until the Premier League decide to do something next summer.
Apollo, you've got your wish. Tomiyasu's coming on.
Good. I'm a little concerned because I didn't think that he could do 45 minutes.
Didn't hear Apollo.
Yeah, I heard you. Yeah, I heard you. So Tony, will Arsenal take that route and go and get a contract?
Getting roasted in the first half, as I told you during the conference.
Will Arsenal then do something in January where they can spread out, which is just not like them? It's not like them to do something dodgy like that, so I wouldn't expect it. And then the second thing is will they allow players to leave? Now, the reason why that's a question is because this is the first time in years Arsenal's had a squad. Have they used the squad effectively? In my opinion, no. But they've still got a good squad. If you start selling players, then what does that say? So that's that's where I kind of ask the question, because why would you then get rid of players that you've waited so long to have to generate cash when you're not utilizing them? That being said, Vieira's coming back, Timber's coming back, Thomas Partey's coming back. So there's a lot of questions. I mean, I'd love to be a fly on the wall in that meeting with Edu and the rest of the guys in the front office to figure out how they're going to approach January. And for me, that's going to make or break the rest of the season. Yeah, I've just kicked off, Tony.
I'm about to.
Oh, what happened there? Nketiah was actually standing inside the D. I think they had a full start there. Okay.
Yeah, they did.
Right, guys, we're back in the second half and picking it up with Arsenal attacking on the right-hand side. Declan Rice, that ball just never on for Saka. Yeah. This is a huge half of football for Arsenal, guys. It really is. If you don't win here, let me change this banner. If you don't win here today, then it's going to make the title extremely difficult to chase for, because you're just going to have to make up
If we don't win there, it makes top four even more difficult.
Yeah,
because the chasing pack are not far.
Yeah. It just goes to show the high standards. You have to be winning every single week. And Declan Rice has got the ball in a good position here. Go on. No, that's the wrong ball. He's point blank. Oh.
I think he has to have a shot.
Yeah.
He has to have a shot there.
You can see here again, he gets the ball. He's only 30 yards out, maybe 25. He's 25. He goes wide. Oh, that's wasteful. Oh, man. Oh.
Well defended.
So Facebook comments here. This is Randolph. Randolph is saying something is seriously missing in this team. There's no fluency. What's gone wrong? I'm going to be completely and utterly honest with you. What's gone wrong is if you go back to our first 10 games, our starting front three of Jesus, Martinelli, and Saka had only played 2 games in the first 10 together. And so after the 10, and within that time, we've had Havertz, we've had Eddie, Saka among the goals. When we changed it and started to play our front three, so Martinelli on the left, Saka on the right, Jesus in the middle, from the 10th game to the 19th game, in those 9-game stretch, they've produced nothing. They just haven't been at the races. And so that's what's happened, is that the front three is just not working for a variety of reasons. The tactic against them in terms of the double teams on the winners have taken them out of the game. The form of Jesus and Martinelli, there's just a lot of reasons why it's not worked. My issue is, if it's not working, change it. Have you ever heard that saying in the business world? If nothing changes, nothing changes. Don't keep going with what's not working and expecting the result to change. And I think from the manager's perspective, that's what you've been doing. Today, there's been a sign where Arteta said, okay, can't keep going with that same, taking the same biscuit from the same biscuit tin. We can't keep doing that, and we have to come with a different approach. So today is a start in the right direction. What he's going to do with Martinelli, though, that's going to be a different thing altogether. There's just no point in having guys on the bench who can produce, who are just not getting their chances. G saying, so annoying how instead of just tweaking what was mostly working last year, and we're back to certain bad habits. You know what? I think up till a week ago, I think everything was working well. That West Ham, if we'd have beaten West Ham at home, nobody would be having these conversations. But at some point, every team, no matter what team you are, at some point, every team has a bad patch. And unfortunately for us, we're going through a bad patch.
The problem
Randolph
is,
says,
the problem that I would identify, Apollo,
just to let you know, Apollo.
Yes, Emerson.
Yeah, Emerson, I can hear you, bro.
Just to let you know, Apollo, I think Tony's just frozen a bit. If Tony's frozen, I'll just let you know. Solanke's back playing. Solanke's still back on the pitch.
All right, nice one. Yeah, because
they took a defender off at half time, but Solanke's still playing.
Yeah, but for me, Bournemouth are a quality team. Did you know, Emerson, who's the most informed team in the Premier League? It's Bournemouth. 5 wins and 1 draw in the last 6.
Bournemouth.
Yeah.
In the Premiership, it's Bournemouth.
That's better from Saliba. Look how far Saliba's happened to come out to the right-hand side to help Ben White. Saliba's almost playing 2 positions right now because he just cannot depend on Ben White. And Ben White is acting more like an inverted double pivot right now. Odegaard, loads of space. Ben White in the overlap, crosses the ball. I don't know what Ben White was doing there. Jesus, this is so bad. The worst thing is that you don't have an option to get Ben White off the field. I don't know, man. Ben White's play is just it can't even defend it. Said Ben White too slow to keep the. I don't know what Ben White's doing right now. He can't play He can't play right back, and he's joined the double pivot and having no and having no effect on the game. If you're going to play Ben White as a double pivot, just take him off and put Jorginho on. At least you're getting some balance in the midfield, and then just go with a back three. Yeah, just go with Tomiyasu, Gabriel, and Saliba. And just play a double pivot, or bring on Cedric. Yeah, probably would. I'd rather bring on Jorginho than bring on Cedric, to be honest. I do like Cedric as a player, but I think for what you're trying to do, you're obviously clearly trying to have a double pivot there because you can see Fulham have got 5 men in the middle to overload Declan Rice. So that's why you've brought Ben White as a double pivot. If you're going to do that, just take him off and put on Jorginho.
Give. Oh, you missed the shot. Somebody's got to move. Oh, that was woeful, Saka.
Saka, man. Oh. Oh,
absolutely terrible. Well done, Kai Havertz. There you go. That's the work that he's so underrated for.
Yeah, I agree. Guys, it's almost like we can do nothing right at the moment. The
Saka
quality of the ball
halfway around the pitch and then gives the ball away. I mean, you know, I love the kid, but sometimes, you know, he's culpable.
So Tony, how are you spending your New Year's?
I'm not really sure. I mean, there's a family gathering, but I'm going to watch the Dolphins at 6, which will take me to 9. Oh,
it's a good tackle there by Saka.
Well done.
On Willian.
Move it, yeah. Options, come on. Got 5 options there, Declan.
I'm going to go to a restaurant at 10:30 tonight and then eat and drink my way through New Year's. One of my friends who's an Arsenal fan owns a restaurant in Chingford. So
God, how could you not have seen the run? That's terrible by Saka. The geezer's bust the gut to try and get into an open spot. Lay him in. There's so many easy balls that are being missed out.
Yeah. Simple balls that we just can't even play.
I cannot wait to see Thomas Partey back. I really can't. The fact that the African nation starts must be in a couple of days, isn't it?
It's on the 10th of January. What's in a couple of days is the training camp. So they're due to report to camp on the 2nd of January, 8 days before the start of the competition.
No man on. Oh, bad ball.
Oh, Tomiyasu, man. Oh, well done, Saliba.
Because Salah's missing the loop.
Martinelli giving it straight.
Salah's going to miss that FA Cup match against Arsenal next week as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because he's got to report off as well. So they start on the 10th, but they're due to report on the 8th. So they have a week of training, and then it goes all the way through. That doesn't make sense.
How can they start on the 10th and have a week of training if they go on the 8th?
No, the 2nd of January they go. Sorry. And they have 8 days. Yeah, and they have 8 days of training, and then it starts on the 10th.
So that, to me, is how Thomas Partey cannot be going, because he'd have to be leaving in 2 days' time.
Agreed.
I don't know. I mean, Arsenal are playing some very coy games, because it's very clear that they select only pictures, to publish. I mean, you know how they do like 10 pictures a day from training ground? Yeah. And they only ever put pictures up that don't include Thomas Partey.
So Arsenal second in the league in goals by substitutions with 8. So you know what that tells us? You better make some subs, Mikel. Well done, Gabriel. If Gabriel didn't get rid of that clearance, Jimenez was in there for 2-1. No, and that's the reason why I would change it, Bertram. That's the reason why I would change it. If you put Jesus out left, you beat wingers all day long, mate. You can even put Nelson, but right now for this game, I would put Jesus in Martinelli's position. Here comes a corner to Fulham. There's a crossing from Willian, and it's headed out for a corner. So it's a corner to Fulham. So, yeah, so the African Nations runs all the way till the 11th of February.
Who won, guys? Two 1 Apollo, if you didn't hear me.
Yeah, I heard you. I'm just trying to...
It's just me. Yeah, you can see it in a minute.
Oh, wow. This is...
Confusion in the centre-half position. But the one who scored took a whack there.
Yeah, that's awful. Yeah, it looks like it's all going wrong for us, guys. It's all going wrong. This is not good at all. Do you know, last season, our record against London teams was played 12, won 10, draw 2. That was against London derbies. We've just come off of a home loss to West Ham, and now we're losing 2-1 away to Fulham. And let's remember, it's just a deflection from... The ball just lands in it's just unlucky. It bounces off Declan Rice. Gabriel tries to clear it. He miskicks it. It's just a complete mess.
Tomiyasu. It was Tomiyasu. I think Declan Rice was having words with Gabriel prior to that as well. Yeah. So you have to keep an eye on that one as well. It didn't look too good, what they were talking about.
Randolph said this is why we've got to start questioning Arteta. Well, obviously all the blame does go on the manager, but the players are just not performing, man.
True.
Yeah, the players are just not getting it done. The level of performances, the amount of passes. Sorry, go on, Emerson.
Good, but if you look at it, as I said all along, I've looked at all other teams that's played in Premiership. Look how they're blooded in their youngsters in early. Some will get a run of game, some are not. There's that youngster that played against us in pre-season, the Man United youngster, the one who went off with an ankle injury and like that. Yep. I know he played yesterday half a game. He's had a run of games for Man United because obviously Casemiro and 1 or 2 others are out in midfield, things like that. That's what I like to see with Arsenal, but Arsenal was Arteta's too stubborn to see it. He sees these youngsters train day in, day out at the training ground with the first team. Why can't he just blood 1 or 2? That's what I think. Like Namweri, he was on the bench against West Ham. He could have come on. I know he wouldn't have made any difference, but he might have made a difference if he did come on. But these things happen anyway. But as I said, my next under 21 match is Friday week. If you're interested, it's on the 12th at Bournemouth.
Yeah, message me. It's on the 12th. Yeah, I might come to that game with you.
I will.
Because it's free entry, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I might
I'll
come
mess
to that game with you.
nearer to the time anyway. So don't worry.
Yeah,
I'll message you that week anyway. I'll do
private
a
message me.
Facebook Messenger for you.
Yeah, private message me and I'll keep that calendar open.
Yeah, that's no problem. That's no problem. Yeah. Because remember,
Saka.
Remember that thing. Remember they
Saka.
gave that.
Saka just beat his man there. Oh,
he had
dear.
a chance. I know he had a chance. He could have scored, but he didn't let it come down quick enough.
Oh, Declan
He just
Rice.
lashed at it straight away. I think with this dodgy haircut that he's got, that's affecting him as well.
Yeah, people talking about how good he's been, how bad he's been since he had the haircut.
I noticed prior to the West Ham game, I noticed some of the players didn't look their usual selves.
Go on, Saka!
On thing at the team hotel.
Oh!
He ballooned it over the bar, Paula. I saw it already. He's ballooned it over the bar. So.
Yeah, and so this is the difference between him
and Co talking on the headpiece again.
Yeah, this is the difference between Mo Salah and
they've
and
seen
Saka.
something that he scores. Salah scores.
Yeah, Salah scores that. So that's the difference. Salah scores that. Big players turn up with big.
Salah would control that and bang.
Yeah.
Ooh,
things are not looking good for Arsenal at all, man. If Liverpool win their game in hand, if Liverpool win their game in hand and nothing's changed, they'll be 5 points ahead of Arsenal.
That's right. And as Tony said earlier, we have a mountain to climb if we're still in fourth, because we've got Tottenham hovering behind us as well. So
yeah.
So all we need to do is get Aston Villa out of the equation. That's all we need to make it a 3-horse race then. But Aston Villa are doing well, so they're grinding out results as well. So they got away with it yesterday against Burnley. So but that game in hand is against Newcastle tomorrow, yeah?
Yes, that's right, yeah. Well, that's a long one from G. Yeah, G says it's far too comfortable for Fulham. They are waiting for the ball to get into central areas where they want to fight us and create counter attacks and chances. They're clearly narrow in their defensive shape for this reason, and the immediate response to this is to stretch the pitch horizontally. That's exactly what they do when they win the war back. Free kick to Arsenal here. Dangerous position. And it's a yellow card.
Yep, Odegaard. Yep. But you know the yellow cards have been rescinded now, ain't they?
Yeah.
But they still carry on until that player gets to the 10th booking. And it's the same thing with the managers ones as well. So it's made for Odegaard to hit it top left-hand corner. Because obviously Leno's going to have the right side of the goals area.
Yeah.
Like that, so. Because Leno's got to go to his right as we're looking. There we go.
Yeah, I think for me the subs would be Jesus and Smith Rowe.
Odegaard.
Yeah.
Yep. I think you got your wish with Jesus. No, Trossard's coming on as well.
Trossard's coming on. Okay.
Trossard's coming on.
Change the banner.
Yeah. Martinelli's gone off. And who else is going off? Come on. It's got to be Eddie. Ben White's been sacrificed as well. So they've gone free at the back.
Yeah, which is what they should have done.
3-5-2.
Yeah, I said that they should have gone free at the back 15 minutes ago. It just, to me, it seems pointless running Ben White in a double pivot. You're just not going to get anywhere doing that.
Mm-hmm.
All the boos coming from Randolph. Right, so Jesus and Trossard on. I mean, guys, we're a long way to go. We've still got 25 minutes in the game left. We get a goal now, and then we're right back in it. This is not over. Considering that our subs gets us so many goals. Yeah. I totally agree. Ben White's having his worst season as an Arsenal player, and by no means should he be starting. But what are the options? Well, Tomiyasu's back anyway, so I won't see that happening again. So the question is, where are they playing now? Are we going with 2 up top? It looks like we might be playing a 3-5-2.
Yeah. That's what I said to you, 3-5-2.
Yeah.
Things. Havertz is playing the other side of Odegaard, while Declan Rice is the one. He's the one in the middle. Eddie's his usual self. He's just playing thing up front with Jesus to the other side of him. So
yeah, that thing on
this Fulham player who's playing the similar right. This Fulham player that's playing the similar position as Declan Rice is controlling their back four, and he's doing it well, quite well.
Yeah.
Because Jesus is got all that. Oops. No. I think that person who said in that last comment is right. What they're saying, they're just waiting to break away in wide spaces, but they didn't get away with it this time as well. So it's going back and forwards.
Yeah, this is well. There's still time to do something in this game, but the result as it is now, this is going to send our fan base into turmoil, man. Because I mean, we literally.
Tell me about
I
it.
went on record saying we were going to win.
I know one or two of these podcasters that go ballistic. You know one of them anyway. You know one of them, the Mad Hatter from Spain.
Yeah.
I won't say his name, but you know who I'm on about.
Yeah,
and
I've got no time for
this
those
other guy,
people
this
at all,
other young kid who's like his love child. I'll call him his love child because he acts the same way as what this idiot in Spain does. So
yeah, I've got no time for them people whatsoever, man. For me, everything's got to be constructive. And
that's it. Because thing is, I know this guy has got a death warrant when he goes to the Emirates, if he ever comes back. But this other guy thinks he knows it all.
Yeah, Fulham. You can see Fulham just trying to manage this game at the moment now. Fulham just trying to manage this game.
Good save by Raya. Oh, he got a goal kick out of it. So he got lucky.
Randolph says Arteta dropping Ransom started this decline and proper destabilization of the team. There's Jimenez again, who just runs into two Arsenal players.
That's what you get. That's what you get. That's a
great save by Raya. It's a good save by Raya there.
That's the biggest debate regarding Arsenal fans. Yeah, just said that.
It is, yeah.
But Iwobi's going off. He's just saying hello to his dad or something like that. The crowd, if he did see him, yeah, he's just going off. Pereira's coming on. So he's a good player, the one who's just coming on now.
Yeah.
So I think that shot, that Raya save was offside as well because they're taking a goal kick as well. So, well, back in play now.
Yeah, Alex Iwobi is still a good player for me. Still a quality player.
Yeah, I agree. One of the hell enders, as they say. So
this is madness. We come out, we score in the first 5 minutes, and we just haven't looked at the races. I mean, where's the clear-cut chances been? At least against West Ham, we created clear-cut chances. Jesus had them 2 headers, which he should have buried.
True.
And so you could see where we're at. Right. But right now, Eddie's not been getting any service at all. Now we're playing with 2 up top.
That's it.
And the
Feeding off
passing,
scraps.
it's
as
the
they say.
passing. It's the passing. The passing's been woeful.
Mhm.
That's what's really surprised me. It's the passing. How bad the passing has been. Too long. We've taken too long to pull the trigger. It's not sharp enough. There's no. I mean, look here. We're crossing into the box. Fulham's defended well here, but there's nothing. There's no cohesiveness at all.
Just let you know, it's lashing down at the ground as well. So
yeah,
torrential rain. I've just had some torrential rain here about 5 minutes ago. It's stopped now.
Yeah, it's out for an Arsenal goal kick. Okay, guys. Let's have a look and see what's happening here now. So there's been so many attacking players on the pitch right now for Arsenal in this. You can see now what Emerson was saying. The rain is just coming down. It's really torrential. We've got Tomiyasu here on the right. Arsenal just finding no way through.
Oh, no.
Fulham looking really tight at the moment. It's going to take something special. Arsenal just don't look like they have an answer. I mean, the ball is left to Declan Rice to try and pick out a pass, and it's not his strongest suit. It's not the strongest part of his game. But yet, that's where all the creativity is coming from. Fulham, here come Fulham again.
Just showing the table again. Arsenal will remain 4th if the result stays the same. With Tottenham 1 point behind. So you're going to see that within the next minute or two, Apollo.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it now. It means, I mean, Arsenal in the last 4 games. In the last 4 games for Arsenal, 1 win, 1 draw, 2 losses. If we don't win this game, it's not been a good Christmas for us at all. And here now, you just look at the body language, Emerson. Look at the body language.
Yeah, I can see it.
It's not good, man.
I can see it.
It's not good.
They're doing like they're passing too much. They're passing too much, like they want to walk it into the net. But as I said, Fulham are looking to pick us off the break if we don't get our passing right. It is literally lashing it down. They're just showing another picture now. You can see that within the next minute or two.
Them guys are desperate. Jesus and Nketiah are desperate for balls to come in. Bertrand saying Rice's weakness has been showing up the last 2 games. Yeah.
Just let you know, Reece Nelson's just come on for Havertz.
Okay, that's interesting.
So where's he playing?
Oh my God, look at the rain.
Reece Nelson. I know, you've seen that one where they showed it on side on.
Yeah, on the roof.
10 seconds at least.
Yeah, coming off the roof.
The first booking of the game, a Fulham player gets booked for time wasting. Their number 3 gets Bassi. He gets booked for time wasting.
And we've still got 14 minutes to go.
Yep.
So we have total shots 12 for Fulham, 11 for Arsenal. Shots on target 4 for Fulham, 3 for Arsenal. So second half, we've actually come out and not done anything. We've just not done anything in the second half. And the substitutions have not had any impact on us whatsoever.
For cover. You seen that, Apollo? Some on the far side of the pitch, the fans that are on the far side of the first 3 rows. I think some of the Fulham fans have died for cover to the Zinchenko.
Reece Nelson.
Yeah, Tottenham are winning. 2-0. Songs just scored.
Oh man!
Just to let you know, that's late score from White Hart Lane.
Oh man!
Come on.
Yeah, I got that wrong. I said that it was going to be a draw.
Luton game. Revival. I said,
oh, that's much better.
At least I've got the goal scorer right again.
Nice touch there by Eddie to Trossard. Trossard's crossing, but nothing happens. Here comes Arsenal now. Odegaard out to Saka. Saka plays the overlap with Tomiyasu. But see, this is the problem. Because we take too long, Fulham are able to get their shape back. And once they get their shape back and they get their heels dug in, very difficult for Arsenal to break them down.
Willian's gone off, Apollo, just to let you know. Willian's gone off.
Yeah.
And the goal scorer, he's gone off as well.
So corner to Arsenal.
So they've got a defender and midfield player that's come on.
Yeah, they're looking to shut up shop. They're looking to defend for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, just over 10 minutes left plus whatever injury time.
This is a shocking display. Shocking display. Come on, lads. There's plenty of time to win this game, man. Plenty of time to get back in it.
Gabriel just missed. Good cross, but Gabriel just mistimes his head at the wrong time. Okay. Good cross by Trossard. No. Gabriel just misses it.
Oh my God. Oh, what a chance. What a chance. Yeah, you got to put that down as a chance.
Mm-hmm. Just missed time. Just missed time. Good cross. It was a good cross, but as I said, it was a teasing cross for someone to just hit it. But as I said, Gabriel was at the back post. Although Arsenal got all the possession, we still had one shot on target since Saka scored, according to this latest stat. What's come on the screen? You should see that any second now.
Yeah, I've got a question coming in. I think it might be from Randolph. Is it? Let me check. Yeah, it is. It's on Randolph.
Why did Steve Brown leave?
Yeah, the obviously Emerson and I don't know. Emerson and I are both close to the Arsenal setup. I've been told that, well, first of all, there's no official word on it. But secondly, from my sources, from what I've been told from Colin, he believes it's something to do with the fact that Steve Brown needed a break from football, and the fact that Arteta wanted to reshape his coaching staff. So that's not the firm. Don't take my word for it. But that's the feeling that the people who work at London Coney, that's their feeling. Their feeling is that Arteta has got a desire to reshape the coaching staff as a whole, and maybe Steve Round wasn't in the long-term plans. Either way, Steve Round has left by mutual consent.
Which I agree, because I haven't heard anything any different than what you've just said, Apollo.
Yeah.
But all I can say that Steve Round's been seen a lot at the Everton matches as well. So he's been around watching Everton playing as well. Because don't forget, I got a feeling he might have been based up in obviously he had to move his family to London, in the St Albans area, but I've got a feeling he might have moved back to the Liverpool area. So he has been seen at Liverpool matches. I mean, Everton matches, sorry. So that answers that question.
Tomiyasu, how's Tomiyasu getting bullied like that off the ball? How are we getting bullied at Fulham? That's the question. How is this happening? How is this even happening? I think Gabriel should have done better there, man. Just inches away from the header. Concrete Jungle says title chance gone. Not gone yet, but
not really.
Yeah, it's definitely not in our favour. You know, we've had since Saka scored, one shot on target for the whole game since Saka scored.
Though we had all the possession as well.
Yeah.
And also what you said earlier regarding God, something's just come up as well on the chat as well.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say you can't see us, change in Liverpool or City.
Yeah, I mean we've been challenging them for half a season, so we just have to wait and see what happens after this. Problem is, we need a reaction from the West Ham game, and we haven't got it.
Mm-hmm.
They've come out today. They haven't looked good. They haven't looked good at all. That's just the reality of it. One can say that the changes that Arteta made were good, but there weren't enough changes, in my opinion. I would have started with Nelson or Jesus on the left. Probably wouldn't have. If your option was to go with a double pivot, then I would have gone with Jorginho and Rice in the midfield, and then I wouldn't have started Ben White. I would have gone with three at the back. Sometimes you've got, to deal with certain situations, you've got to change your formation.
Dare I say it?
Here comes Fulham again.
We've got Tony back, by the way, Apollo.
Yeah. Nice one, Tony.
I'm gonna say it. I don't think either Gabriel Jesus or Reece Nelson are good enough.
Right, guys, hold on. I'll be back in a second.
For what we needed at the time.
So would you sell Reece Nelson then, Tony?
Yeah.
Tony, would you sell Reece Nelson?
Yeah, easily.
And possibly Smith Rowe as well.
Yeah. I mean, I look at players in other players in other teams and think they're much more dynamic. They're much more effective. I'd get rid of Jorginho. I think we missed out on Mohamed Kudus. I think he looks at. Who scored?
Richarlison just scored.
Okay. I'll drop you the link.
Just got booked for a foul on one of their playing through.
So it's not going to get any better for us because Stan's coming in. He's had his fill now. He can take it no longer. He's going to come in. He's going to vent.
Yeah, I know. I think we have to wear earplugs when Bertram's on.
Oh dear!
Make sure we got earplugs on.
I mean, look, I think there's two ways looking at this. You've got personnel issues, number one, and you've got formation and tactical things to look at, number two. In both regards, Arsenal this season have been found wanting. So effectively, the personnel aren't performing. They're not good enough. And number two, the person at the helm, whose decision is to choose which personnel to use in which games, has watched too long and seen inconsistency and not done anything about it, and further still hampered himself by playing particular types of tactics which don't suit the personnel he's got. Yeah. So,
Have you
like
seen that
Concrete
chance, Tony?
Jungle
That
says,
that
say that again, Emerson.
have you seen that chance? What Fulham just had with that free kick hits the
Yeah,
bar.
yeah. Ray had got a touch on that. I'm pretty certain.
I doubt it. Here we go. I'll see it from this angle. I'll see it again. Nope. Nowhere near it. They're just showing a little replay of it. You can see it in the next minute or two. Nowhere near it. And regarding that thing, he said he doesn't trust his bench too much.
Yeah. So what I was going to say in response to that is that highlights to me that you have an issue with personnel. Because if you can't trust those that are on your bench, you haven't got the right people on the bench.
Better cross, he would have scored. Didn't play though. Fulham's just had a breakaway. As I said, a better cross from the guy.
I don't understand why you pay Reece Nelson $100,000 a week and you don't play him.
Exactly. Same as Smith Rowe as well. Same.
If you really think they're that good to pay $100,000 a week.
100%, Tony. 100%, Tony. 100%.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. $2 million a year.
You know, that's ludicrous that you're spending that kind of money on a player who you don't have sufficient faith in to deliver when you require it. Oh, what was you doing there, silly Gabriel? So we're at the 90th minute now.
Not yet on mine.
I'm on 89 something. So that's the 90th minute. Don't forget minutes start at 0. 0 means you're in the first minute. 89 means you're in the 90th minute.
5 minutes added on. They've got 5 minutes added on.
Yeah.
Because it's just come up on my screen, 5 minutes added on. Yeah.
Oh, dear. I'm not looking to have a good New Year's Eve.
I'm not playing anywhere this year, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get any easier for me because my Miami Dolphins are facing the best team in the NFL, in the Baltimore Ravens, at the Ravens. So, gonna be tough.
You gonna watch that one after this one, Tony? The Miami Dolphins.
O'clock. Yeah, 6 o'clock. Oh, what was that, Saka?
Bournemouth have just scored to make it 3-1. Just to let you know, it's 3-1 to Bournemouth. I mean, Spurs, sorry.
I was going to say, how are you saying that?
Now, what it is, I'm getting the updates on Sky Sports on my TV while this match is going on at the same time.
I mean, it couldn't have been 3-1 to Bournemouth.
Oh. Fulham players is booked for diving, just to let you know. The Fulham player.
Okay.
You can see an incident. Jimenez. Has he been booked already? I'm sure he's been booked.
Offside.
So, shout out to you, Andrew. Andrew's saying faith in Arteta has diminished. 3 seasons on the trot, a failure potentially. I cannot see why perseverance with him should continue. So, first of all, let's look at 2 sides of the discussion. First of all, I think you're right to say what you did. his management of the team should be questioned, as everybody should at every level in any job in sports. But looking at it from the other perspective of the owners, in the job that he's done, when he took over the team, they were in 15th place, and where he's got them now in terms of the results on the pitch is one thing. The other thing, which most of you guys don't see, is the business side of it. So what the owners, so this is what I'm saying. If you're in a job and you're performing to the point where you're making your boss ample amount of money, you've doubled the business's income, and because of that, your boss has given you a contract extension, which we know Arteta had. He said, in the first 3 years, I'm going to turn your team around. I'm going to make them go from the quietest stadium in the league with a bad culture and a toxic fan base to not playing in the Champions League. I'm going to turn them into title contenders playing at the highest level in the Champions League in Europe. And at the same time, I'm going to double your income. So that's what Arteta's done, and Edu. It's not just Arteta. People like to bring his name up as the only person. It's not just him. There's a lot of deciding factors in terms of Tim Lewis, Edu, etc. Vinay doesn't do much of the day-to-day stuff anymore. He more is the overseer and the decision maker who reports straight to Josh. But my point is in year 1 to 3, it was get them back in the Champions League. Year 4 to 5, we're in year 4. Year 4 to 5 was win the league or the Champions League. So my point is if Arteta fails this year, yes, we should question the direction he's taken in the team in. But at the same time, looking at it from the owner's perspective, they're going to want to see if he can make do on his promise to win this year or next year. Now, the Champions League is still in play this year. The title, we're still in it, guys. We're only halfway through the title. Yeah, we're halfway through the season. We're still in top 4. We're not a mile away from it. Yeah, we're 5 points off. If Liverpool win their game in hand, we're 5 points off Liverpool. So there's not, for all the talk of doom and gloom, we're still in it. But my point is, thinking with my corporate hat on, I think that the owners are going to give him 5 years. I think they're going to see what happens this year. They're going to see what happens next year. And if he doesn't win anything, then I think they will act. In regards to the fans this season, yeah, we have the right to say that we might be taking a backward step. Yeah, that's where I would be coming from it. There's been comments in the chat here saying it all started with the Ramsdale situation. I agree with you lot on that. That was Randolph. Andrew was coming and said we should start to question the manager. I completely agree with you on that. So those are the things that we should be talking about. We should be, at this point, holding everyone to account. Yeah? And it's only fair because regardless of our love for the team, regardless for our likes or dislikes for the manager, this is a business. This is a business where you have to win and you have to facilitate everything that a business wants, which is profits, winning on the pitch, winning off the pitch, all those different elements come into it. So as far as the changes that we've seen, there are a lot to talk about in terms of holding Arteta accountable for the things that he's in control of, like the rotation, which for me has just been letting him down. He's been going for the same biscuit in the biscuit tin, trial and error in terms of these players like Jesus and Martinelli, who are not performing for him. Ben White, not performing for him. And you have options. You have options which you yourself have not changed. You've chosen to go with things that are not working. As I said, in the business world, there's a saying, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And because you've changed nothing, you've ended up with the same result. That's on you. At the same time, the players have not been doing their job. So there are a bunch of players here who should be dropped and continually are playing every single game. So there's different things, but yes, it's time to question Arteta. Of course, I don't disagree with that. Bertram, you've just come in. What's your thoughts on the game?
Tough game. I thought Fulham played really, really well, actually. I thought after we scored the first goal, there are very few teams who play us who have good possession of the ball and keep us at bay, even though we don't seem to press as much as we used to nowadays. But I thought they played well. But, as you're saying, questions have to be asked of the team and the manager. And you guys hear me say a couple of things, which I'm going to reiterate for the 101 time. Arteta cannot game manage his way out of a paper bag. It's a fact. It's not debatable. But Apollo and others would beat me up when I say that.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about his organizational skill. I'm not talking about his knowledge of players and their abilities. I'm not talking about coaching players. Watch how he game manages. When we are down, he throw on like 10 forwards. No organization. We all over the place. People get into each other's way. Doesn't know what he's doing when he does that. Secondly, you're right about overplaying players sometimes. Here's an interesting thing. Saka has wonderful stats for a winger. But he's been poor this season, which seems like a contradiction in terms. And if you look today, he didn't beat Robinson. I've said this for a while now. He has no right foot, which Tony disagrees with, which I have to laugh about. Yes, then today he got 2 chances, one on his left, but the one on his right, he had to touch the ball to his left foot. That's the one that got blocked by Pelino. So this is not about Saka. As you mentioned, Martinelli has been poor. Glenn Rice is not Thomas Partey. And those people who would knock Partey and he's injury prone, we all agree. But Glenn Rice is not Thomas Partey. Glenn Rice is a defensive demon. Offensively, he's lacking. I don't care what goals he has. He cannot split the pass between the defense. Odegaard should be taken off for Smith Rowe. Why are we even questioning that? Odegaard touches the ball more than any player on the field. What does he do with the ball? Except play on the right side with Saka and touch, and doesn't put the ball in the box. And nothing can happen. Smith Rowe should be given a run at some point because Smith Rowe is a goal hog. He can score goals. It may not have Odegaard's game management, but he can score goals. And Kiwior should not have been on the field, Apollo. And I said at the chat in the first 20 minutes, he should be able to be taken off in the first 20 minutes. If that was Marino, if that was what's his name as a coach, Spurs, they took him off the field because they realized he was a deficiency. And they would go by him. That cross that came across, people say it's a brilliant cross. Yes, it was. But he tried to kick the ball with his left foot, Apollo, when the ball is coming on the other side, where only his right foot would do. That makes no sense to anyone. So look, I'm not going to go overboard, which I seem to be doing right now, anyway, in terms of where we are, because we're still in contention. But if we're not, top 4 this year is going to be very difficult to get. We're thinking about winning league title. We should be thinking about top 4 first. All the teams are bundled up. As you always say, Apollo, which is even more imperative this year and becoming more apparent this year, the league is tough. Look where's Man U, which is poor. Look where Chelsea are. Look what's happening to Newcastle. So if you don't take your chances and if you don't play well, you're going to be struggling for that top 4. And that's what we're saying. And top Apollo, I said this to you before, and Fulham is not in the top 6, but we've only beaten City in the top 6. We have both in the top 7, Frank. We beat Man U with jump at the top 7, but I think we have only beaten City in the top 7, which is not saying a lot for us. So it's not a good day actually. Now we're gonna have the meltdown from the fans. We shouldn't have a meltdown. We're still doing okay. We'll see what we do in January, but we shouldn't have a meltdown. But it's concerning.
Yeah,
it's concerning.
Yeah, I totally agree. Emerson, what's your thoughts? I'm going to go to Tony as well, although Tony's just gone off for a bit. I am doing player ratings as we speak because I can't keep it for long, but I will do player ratings. I'm doing them right now. Emerson, what was your thoughts on the game?
Before you go, Emerson, one thing, Apollo, I didn't mention Nketiah and Havertz because they weren't playing. So go ahead, Emerson.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. Yep. What Bertram's just said, with all the points she's just said, and what we said before Bertram came on the air. But he would have heard what we were saying anyway. But as I said, something's not right with Arsenal this season. Something is just missing. I don't know what it is, but that's from my point of view. But something is definitely missing from Arsenal this season. As Bertram said, it's the management, and sometimes some of the players are inconsistent as well. So we know that Martinelli is not the player he was last season. Obviously, Saka's not the player he was last season, but he still can chip in or assist with something out of nowhere. But in general, something is still missing from Arsenal. So if we get a new player in this January window, who that will be, we do not know. So be it, but we'll just have to wait and see. But if we don't really, as you said, if we don't get anyone in January and we go through the whole month with the same players, top four is going to be slipping away from us after the FA Cup run as well, because we don't know how we're going to fare against Liverpool next Sunday. So we have to wait and see what's going to happen regarding that. And that's basically all I can say.
And guys, we have to remember, look, we are halfway through the season. There's a lot of football to play, man. You're talking about there's 40, 45 points up for grabs to play, a lot of twists and turns. We've already seen the effect of De Bruyne, who's missed the entirety of the first half of the season. Patch that up with the fact that Jurrien Timber is on his way back, could completely and utterly change the forecast for this team, as well as Thomas Partey. I mean, you know, people forget that these are some of the biggest names in the Arsenal team that we had. If you look at the way that the team plays with Partey and Timber in there, you can't even compare the two. We've got Fabio Vieira coming back next month as well, who actually started the season really brightly, gained a lot of playing time before his injury. So I expect a lot of changes and a lot of picks and troughs in the second half of the season. By no means or by no accounts is this season over. But I must say this, I agree with Bertram and Emerson in regards to top four being so important. Yes, we're title contenders, but yes, we're also looking at top four as the standard. That's the minimum requirement for this football team. Arsenal have earned £72 million. I'll say that again. We've earned 72 million in the group stages alone. That's double what we earned in the entirety of the Europa. And we're not even finished yet. We're getting to the last 16, hopefully going to the quarterfinals. The amount of money you can generate and the players coming into Arsenal, you know, you go for Victor Osimhen and you're a title contender and you're in the top, you know, Champions League teams, you can appreciate the fact that you can go and get the big names at Arsenal Football Club. So top four is a standard for this football team. But for me, guys, that is where we've got to figure this out, because you're looking for a reaction today, and quite frankly, I didn't see one. I didn't see a reaction today. And credit for Fulham, because after Saka scored in the first 5 minutes, we had one shot on target. And yes, we went close with that Gabriel chance, but the lack of supply on the front line is a big problem. And what Arteta's done is he's put two strikers up front. So you're starving Eddie of service. So you put another guy to join him up there, and then now you're starving two guys of service. So what sense does that make? What you got to do is just reflux the midfield. You've got Smith Rowe, as Bertram alluded to. You've got Smith Rowe that you can put in there. You've got Jorginho who can help with the double pivot, and you standardize that against the five-man midfield from Fulham, who, quite frankly, you knew it was a problem. That's the reason why you brought Ben White into a double pivot. You did that. So I know from your actions with Ben White, that tells me, Arteta, that you knew what Fulham were doing. But the way how you countered it was wrong. You should have been able to give him help, which would have facilitated a balance in the midfield. And then that would have helped the transition and progression. What the changes that happened did not affect the supply to the strikers at all. It didn't. You went from having one problem with not getting the ball to Nketiah to two problems now not getting the ball to both of your strikers. And that's how the game played out. So,
But Apollo, why isn't Odegaard taking some responsibility for this? Odegaard touches the ball twice as much as anybody else on the field, frankly. So if Nketiah is not getting the supply, isn't that part of Odegaard's responsibility to just stop playing the ball to Saka 24/7, sitting on the right side and try to get the ball over to Nketiah, direct Nketiah where to run? Like, we're not giving Odegaard the pressure he should be getting. He's not doing anything. He's touching the ball, he's spinning around, and he's wasting time on the field. He's not creating anything.
I think the part of the reasons why teams have learned to nullify us, and Jurgen Klopp was the first manager to do this, the first manager to put triangles around Odegaard and just stop him from playing. And it seems now what they've done is they're killing two birds with one stone. There are now 4 or 5 defending players in that triangle overlap section with Odegaard, Ben White, and Saka, and we just don't have an answer for it. There's just
But
too
but
much
but, but
going on.
Apollo, part of the problem, Saka cannot beat his man. He was isolating Robinson at least 5-6 times a day. Never beat him once.
Yeah.
Didn't beat him once. If you can't beat your man, you can't create mismatches. If you go by your man, he's scrambling, a defender has to come over, that means somebody's open. None of that happens because he can't beat his man.
Yeah, I mean, but my question to this whole thing was, if teams are overloading that right-hand side, then try to work the ball centrally or give Martinelli some help. Because the same way how you've got Odegaard and Ben White facilitating Saka, who does Martinelli have? Last season, he had Xhaka and Zinchenko running those tries. Neither of them, Zinchenko has not been the same player, so he hasn't been given any support. Xhaka's not here, so Martinelli is not getting that support. That support has been, at times we've seen players move over, and Saka's been getting 4 players that have been helping him. Martinelli's got no help. I mean, I know he's not been on form,
true.
but the tactics has not helped him as well in terms of what he's done. So we're putting all of our eggs in one basket, which is Saka, and nothing is working.
So, Apollo, here's another thing that you haven't pointed out, Apollo, which I know you weren't a Xhaka fan, and we all agree Xhaka in his first few years didn't produce as we'd like. But you know what Xhaka did really well? He organized. He moved people around. He would spread the ball to Martinelli, or he'd make a cross-field pass to find Odegaard. I even find Saka. Havertz doesn't do that. Havertz played how many 40-yard passes Havertz made? How many 20-yard passes Havertz made to shift the defense? None of that occurs. So the problem you run into is we play slow, we play monotonous, defense recovers. You can't penetrate playing 5 miles an hour. Sometimes you play 5, sometimes you play 50 miles an hour. So if I'm playing defense, I can just sit back and rest. Because the ball is not going anywhere.
Yeah,
the ball is not going anywhere.
That's what they're doing. And most teams counter this by having players who can go past defenders. If you've got 10 guys in front of you, passing is not going to work. You're going to have to get the ball at your feet and go through and create something, draw defenders towards you, and that opens up spaces behind. Because we don't have anybody who can do that, the defense is sitting and they're planted, they're not moving, and we're not getting anywhere. That's what the problem is at the moment. It's not an easy problem to solve because you're not the players. We see Smith Rowe who can go and disrupt defenders. Nelson can go past players. He can do that. But they're not getting on the field. So as I said, you're stuck with the same biscuit from the biscuit tin, and it's getting tired, it's predictable, it's slow, and that's why we're in a ruck at the moment, guys. I'm looking for wholesale changes now. You've made a couple of changes, but it's not enough. So listen, guys, there's a whole heap of comments on the screen. We'll come to that after. Let me just go through the player ratings right now. I'm not sure what's happened to Tony. Tony's still in the background, but I'm going to go through to player ratings. I'm going to give Ray a 6. I think it was quite of a positive performance in terms of him coming out to prevent Fulham's goals on the counter. Again, he did it against West Ham, running out of the box, stopping these counters and blocking them off. He's done that 3 times today. Again, I thought his distribution was good today. The save he made by Ton Carney as well was pretty good. To be honest, I thought that was going in. So I'm going to give him a 6 today. Ben White, I thought he was awful. I'm marking him down for a 3. And I've said it time and time again, he's passive. There's no aggression or urgency in his game. He's sitting so far off players that you might as well not even have a defender there anymore. You might as well be playing without a right back because at the moment he's invisible. Ben White is giving wingers too much time, too much space to do anything that they want. And this has been happening for a while. I've been mentioning this for months. And the coaching staff, I'm gonna question them because is this something you're telling Ben White to do? Because if you are, it's counterproductive because you're giving everyone else too much work to do. If you're letting this guy give wingers free reins to do whatever they want. And now Tomiyasu is back and he's fit, I expect Ben White to be on the bench for the next game. That's what I expect. I'm going to give him a 3. Saliba, I thought Jimenez was excellent, and I think he gave the back line a lot of problems with his running. You can probably put Saliba and Gabriel in this together, although I thought Gabriel had a better game than Saliba today. But I think He occasionally caught out Saliba in terms of the ball coming through the middle. And I just don't think that Saliba was as sharp today as he normally is. So I'm going to give him a 5. Gabriel, I said he fared a lot better and nearly scored as well. And he just looked like he was up for it. He looked like one of the only players on the team that had rolled their sleeves up and want to get stuck into a game like this. The rest of the guys, I thought that Fulham dominated them. I thought Fulham outmuscled most of the team. And that's why I made a statement to say, I can't believe that Fulham, Craven Cottage have outmuscled Arsenal in the midfield. I'm rubbing my eyes. I just don't believe it. And that's probably why the tactics of the double pivot for me did not work. And that's why Declan Rice wasn't effective today. In the 70th minute, this is Declan Rice we're talking about now. I'm giving him a 5. In the 70th minute, you looked at Declan Rice as the only facilitator in the midfield trying to create. And if that's the position you're getting into yourself into, then you're going to fail because he can't pick out a pass. And that's what we were depending on in the midfield. And that's why nothing changed. Guys, when we made the substitutions, I don't think anybody realizes this. It had no effect on the game whatsoever. None. And partly it's because of this reason that I'm talking about. That failed double pivot, the lack of support in the midfield, it caused all kind of problems for us. And I just felt Arteta got it wrong today. Declan Rice had to drop too deep in the build-up phase. And then his passes, how many of his passes were picked off today? Just like against West Ham. I haven't seen West Ham give the ball away this much, ever. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. And the same goes for Martin Odegaard. Let's go for Odegaard. I'm going to give him a 4. How many times has he given the ball away? Silly, sloppy passes. He couldn't put anything together. He took up excellent positions. I'll give him that. He finds them holes, but the league has just caught onto it now. If this is what you're going to do every week, Arteta, Saka, and Odegaard, then teams are going to be ready for you. They're going to lock in those 5 players on that right-hand side, and you won't be able to do a damn thing about it. Time for you to do something else. Yeah? Because this can't be you. This can't be the way how you're looking to go through the season because everybody knows your game now. Everyone can see it. It's they got your number. They got you. They got you, and they're going to lock you down every single week. And this is what it's going to be like. You have to come with a different approach. You've got to change it up. Kai Havertz, again, back in the side. He played the role in the opener for the goal, and he was a threat in transition. But in the second half, I can't remember his name even being called. He had no effect on the game in the second half, and he gets a 4. Saka, I'm going to give Saka a 5, and that's because he scored the goal. Outside of that, his performance just had no influence on the game whatsoever. He was hanging out on an island on that right-hand side, and he just couldn't get past Robinson. Just couldn't get past him. I just don't know what I have to say. He's been nullified. Both of them have this season. Although his stats are really good, the performances haven't been there from Saka. And Nketiah, again, no service. You can see in the first half, defensively, he was coming back. He was doubling on, creating mismatches in the midfield and at the back. And that was really good stuff from Eddie. But as a striker and a forward, he had no service at all. None. So he gets a 4. Martinelli gets a 4.5. Had a lot of the ball, sometimes in single coverage. What did he do with it? Yeah, he gets the 0.5 because the shot he made coming in on his right foot, which had a goal, a save from Leno, was converted by Saka. So he gets the credit for that, although he doesn't get the assist. But apart from that, for the rest of the next 80 minutes, what did Martinelli do? And my biggest gripe on Martinelli, as I said to you at half-time, is your job as a winger is to come back and help to facilitate protection against the left back, whether that's Zinchenko, whether that's Kiwior, doesn't matter who it is. I saw you do it against Man City. Man City, you had the game of your life. I saw you running back, supporting Zinchenko. Yeah? I saw all of those things happening. but I haven't seen that in weeks, in months. When you're almost, and it's just lack of work rate. You're not getting back to help protect the left back, which is part of your role. It's just not there anymore. Arteta, I'm going to give him a 4. I wouldn't have started Martinelli in this game. I wouldn't have started Ben White. I probably would have gone 3 at the back. I probably would have been able to handle a game like this with 3 at the back and gone with a 5-man midfield. Maybe not 2 up front. I probably would have changed it up there. But I maybe would have gone 3-4-3. I probably would have done that and started off with that. And then the substitutions to make it 5-man midfield. But I think tactically you got it wrong today. So I'm going to give you a 4. Bertram, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I'll do that. I gave Ray a 7. Thought he made a couple good saves, made no mistakes today. And I think Ray, the last few games, have done well. So he may have gotten over his jitters, and maybe the Ray we have seen at Brentford is now emerging. Ben White is not a right back. At least an effective right back that you need in such an offensive team. He's a good player, decent player, but when you're going forward, you need somebody to create something, and he doesn't create anything. And he slows the game down. He stops the ball. He's not moving the ball. That's part of our problem. So I'll give Ben White a 4. Saliba, in the last couple of games, he's been a little bit challenged. He's not been the Rolls Royce we all expect him to be every game in, game out. And Jimenez is a very good player who has come back into his own subsequent to his head injury and leaving Wolves. So I'll give Saliba a 6. I thought Gabriel tries really hard like he normally does. He's very, very aggressive. Sometimes some of his few passes were wayward than they probably should be, given that he has less pressure on him when he's passing. But I thought he probably was maybe our best player today, if I think about it, him and Raya, which is not saying a lot because it's not like he's getting an 8. So I'll give Gabriel a 7. Kiwior, I'm going to give a 3. It's not his fault. He should not have been on the field. I've seen him in his last game. If you have a physical team like Fulham, a team that's ever running with Iwobi and the Cordova Reeve on the right, I'm not sure why you're having Kiwior on the field. And it was very obvious. He should have been removed in the first 20 minutes. And I said that on the chat that Tommy should come in the game. I don't care if Tommy's on one leg. If you see a player struggling and he's not making it, and in the first play of the game that they attack, he looks really out of it. Can't keep up pace-wise, can't keep up awareness-wise, then why is he on the field? Doesn't make any sense. And the manager owns that one. So I give Kiwior a 3. And the cross that came across, you go look at the cross again. He is stretching for it, but he's going with his left foot, which means the ball can only go in the goal. If you go with your right foot across your body, it goes back to where it's coming from, which is really a bad decision on his part. But he's not a left back, and he should have been on the field, so it's not his fault. If Tommy can play, he should be out there until he can't play anymore. And then maybe you put on the Portuguese and maybe play somebody else at left back. I don't know, but our player 3 at the back like he does when we are under pressure. In the midfield, I go on the Havertz. I don't think Havertz had a good game. And Havertz doesn't fit our style of play. He's slow, he's plodding, he's technically very, very good, but he's not anything dynamic. We need dynamic number 8. And I've said this 101 times, we should buy Kudos or buy somebody else or buy Paqueta for £60-something million. And even though he scored a number of goals in the last few games, he's not what we need in that position. He's too slow. He slows the game down. He doesn't move. He doesn't beat anybody and go by them. Yes, he has height and physicality, but he's not what we need. And it shows up when you're playing against physical team like Fulham. I'm going to give Havertz a 4. Glenn Rice is not Thomas Partey, and I've said this a number of times. He gets a 5. Brilliant defender, brilliant ball winner. Going forward, he's not the player. Cannot pass a ball between the lines. What Partey does brilliantly that people don't seem to realize, and go watch his tapes, is the ball comes into him, he has players around him, he dips his shoulder, those players are behind him, and now the defense is scrambling. Glenn Rice doesn't do that. Partey does look-away passes. He looks left, pull the defense away with his eyes, he passes right, a pass down the middle, create space, create penetration. Glenn Rice doesn't do that. Glenn Rice tried to do that today, didn't work for him, because it's not his game. He's a defender. Starts off a center half, plays the 6, that's his position. And by the way, Apollo, Arteta did have Partey playing right back and allowing Glenn Rice to play the 6, which is asinine to me, because Partey is one of the best CDM in the world who has offensive capability in helping his team move the ball forward in dangerous positions and put him at right back is what manager is over managing like Pep does sometimes. So I give Glenn Rice a 5.
Do remember, Bertram, we looked at the heat maps and our Partey was in the double pivot for 82% of his time at that position. So he wasn't really a right back, was he? He was in the double
but he had to go
pivot.
cover out there. It takes energy to go cover out there. When you have to go out there, go cover and do those wingers, it kills your game. You can't be as effective in the game, right? Yeah. So it doesn't help you when you do that. You're taking people out of position, then he's also out of position because he's unaware when he needs to cover the right back position. What he does is cover off his right back when they go forward, not him being the right back and the sole person out there on an island, which is not his game. Odegaard is part of our problem going forward offensively. Last year, brilliant, scoring goals, creating assists. This year, touches. We get outside the 18, he's not putting his forwards through on goal, and maybe defense are dropping back a little bit. He's not creating opportunities for himself or for others. He's part of the problem. Not a leader. He's not leading out there. And everybody gets excited about all his touches. I'm not excited about your touches. I'm excited about outcome. What am I getting out of you when you get in those dangerous positions? He's not doing anything. He comes deep to get the ball. He touches the ball all over the field. And yet, I don't see anyone getting on goal. I don't see my center forward get in on goal because Odegaard put them through, or Saka in on goal. Once in a while, he gets behind the defense, or Martinelli in on goal. It's not happening. So I give Odegaard a 4. And I'm not impressed with you touching the ball 101 times and spinning like a gig like you're out of control. If I go up front, I'm going to give Martinelli. I think Martinelli did okay today in some respects. I'm going to give him a 5. I thought he did okay. He wasn't in the game as you'd like him to be. He created the first opportunity. But also Martinelli, like Saka, which is strange for Martinelli, is not getting by his fullback, which is disappointing. So I'm going to give him a 5. I'm going to give Saka a 5 also. I'm tempted to give Saka a 4. He scored the goal, so how do you give him a 4? But he got our best chances in the game. The ball that fell from high, which he could control and place it, and the one he tried to put on his left foot when it was on his right foot to kick the ball in the goal. And these are in the box, close to goal. And I keep telling Tony he has no right foot. That's part of his problem. I don't know how you're a professional football player unless you're Messi, you don't have a right foot. That's a problem for you. When you get the ball in dangerous position, you can't execute. So I'm going to give him a 5. And Nketiah is an NA. I can't give Nketiah a grade because he wasn't playing. I know people going to say they get in the service, but you know what? You can create things in the game to get the ball if you're not getting service. That's what Jesus does, which is probably not what we want sometimes. But Nketiah was not playing, was not in the game at all. Showed nothing that deems to be dangerous. Did nothing in the game except keep a ball outside the post. So I can't give him a grade. I'm giving him NA because it's unfair to grade him because he didn't get service, but it's also unfair to grade him because he wasn't playing. And then for the subs, none of this. Tomiyasu I think did okay. I'm gonna give Tomiyasu a 6. I think he came on. Wouldn't say the same dangerous plays occurring as it relates to they called over Reed, or when he switched to the right with Robinson and with William. I think Tomiyasu is a very, very good defender, and hopefully he can stay healthy because we need him. And also, as you mentioned before, we need Timber to come back. And then for Jesus and also for Nelson coming on, I would not put Trossard on the field. The last game I see Trossard, he was out of it. Either you put Trossard on as a winger, but I don't know why you put on Trossard and Jesus, and people are running into they're creating defense against ourselves. Because you know why? They don't know where to go. They are running in the same all over the place. Nobody knows what they're doing when we're down because Arteta is throwing a bunch of forward, take off a defender and a midfielder, doesn't give instructions about who play where, and they're all over the place. So they're not set up to spread the defense out, create space. Nobody knows what they're doing. So, and I give the manager a 2 because he's mainly the reason why we lost the game today. It's putting Kiwior in the game to start, not playing Tomiyasu, making changes, not being strategic in the changes, just making change for change's sake. So that's my analysis of Apollo. Seem harsh, but it is what it is.
No problem. What about your thoughts, Emerson? You still with us, Emerson?
With my rating, with my ratings, I would give Raya a 6, White 3, Saliba 4, Gabriel 5, Kiwior a 2. The reason why I say I'm giving him a 2, I'm going to be a bit harsh on this one because for what Bertram said, and he should have been playing because he was overrun on his side of the pitch. And I will continue. I will give Declan Rice a 4.5. Odegaard, I will give a 4. Havertz, the same, a 4. Saka, I'll give 4.5. Although I would have given him a 5 if that assist, if that thing, if he had done a bit more. But obviously, I'll give him a 4.5. Nketiah, I'll give definitely a 4. Martinelli, I'll give a 4. Although he wasn't, he's struggling. So thing like that. And Arteta, I would give roughly a 4 again. And guarding the subs that came on, I would give them all a 4 because none of them had an impact of the game because the game was near enough won and lost then. But we did show some urgency in the second half, but we couldn't just get that second goal to make it 2-2 and then make it a grandstand finish like we did against Luton. But overall, I'll say the team about, say, 5.5 out of 10. And that's my conclusion of the match.
Thanks a lot for that, Emerson. The biggest issue that I had with this game is, and I mentioned to Bertram, I was looking for a reaction from the West Ham loss. And what stood out to me before I go to Tony's player ratings is the element that, like, the incisiveness, it just wasn't there. At times we looked like we tried to slow the game down, but why would you slow a game down when you haven't established your advantage over a team? You don't have any real key finishes in tight situations, and it's important to make sure that you stamp your authority on that game. But physically, we weren't there today. We got out-muscled by Fulham. And that's the strange thing I don't understand. Well, okay, I take it the ref didn't help. We put the hands up for that. But, the referees are always going to be the same, guys. We shouldn't expect anything from referees whatsoever. But for me, it was just the sheer fact that the physicality level of Arsenal today wasn't even there. We looked weak. And the incisiveness comes from the poor passing. Just like West Ham. Never this season have I seen us pass like that. Like simple passes, like a look, and Saka's in space. He sees an Arsenal player, he sees a Fulham player, and the ball goes closer to the Fulham player, and then the ball gets intercepted. How is that Saka? How is that Declan Rice? How is that Odegaard? This is unconventional for us to see this in Arsenal Football Club. It's not one player. So there's some fundamental problems going on here. Whether they're mental, whether they're physical, I don't know what it is, but there's a real issue here going on, and they need to fix it. Tony, your player ratings.
Okay, so I'm pretty much going identical to Emerson. It's kind of 4s, 4.5s around the whole team. So I'm not going to waste time trying to eulogize on what has already been spoken about at length, other than to reiterate a point I made at half-time about 2 aspects of this team going badly wrong. One, personnel. You haven't got the right personnel. So, A, we have no striker. Fundamentally, as much as you eulogize about Eddie Nketiah, he's not good enough to propel a team like Arsenal to the promised line of trying to compete against teams that have killers at the top end of the pitch. There are teams beneath us who have better strikers, not least likes of Dominic Solanke, who's found his feet.
No, hold on. Nketiah is our backup striker. So the core problem, don't get away from the core problem. The core problem is Jesus has 3 goals in 17 games, Tony.
He was next, Apollo. Just give me a chance.
All right.
Yeah? But the issue is here. You're paying him $100,000 a week as a backup striker, and quite simply, he's not delivering. Yeah?
No,
Your actual
he was
striker, the guy that you pay in
before
200 and
today-
something grand. Hang on, let me land.
Yeah, Tony. Before today, he had 5 goals in 9 starts. How is
Still
that
not a good.
delivering?
What I see in games.
Okay.
Sorry, my friend.
All right,
He's
okay.
not good enough.
All right.
He's not good enough. Yeah. He's a streaky player. And much like Lacazette before him, Lacazette was a streaky player. He would have got you 5 in a streak and then go dead for 20 games. How many games is it since Eddie scored?
Well, he scored on the second to last game that he played it. In fact, no, I think the last game he scored in, he didn't he get a hat trick?
Oh,
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
got a hat trick in his last game.
that's got to be so long ago. It don't even.
Yeah, it
come
was.
into
It
my
was.
memory banks.
It was in our 9th game. We just played our 20th.
Did he
Right.
score
11
3
games
against? He
ago.
scored 3 against Sheffield, right? I think that's what it was.
That's
Something.
right. Yeah, but that was the last game he played. He ain't started in 11 games.
Right. So fundamentally, we have 2 strikers, which neither of them is going to get you 20 goals.
Agreed.
Yeah. And everybody else's team has at least a 15-goal striker. Yeah. Last season, neither of our strikers got past 10 goals. And we can say, oh, but he only played because he was injured for half a season and he was this. But neither of our 2 strikers scored more than 10 goals.
Yeah, Jesus got 11 in 24 starts.
Not
last
in the
season.
Premier League, he didn't.
Yeah, I'm absolutely sure he did.
No,
I'll
he
check it
didn't.
now. I tracked his stats before. Hold on. And you know me and numbers. I'm anal when it comes to numbers.
It doesn't negate the point. They're not good enough to be the number 1 striker. Neither of them are good enough.
Neither
Let's
of
be
them
fair.
are good enough. Simple as. Yeah?
Yeah, I'm right. Tony, correct. 11 goals in 24 starts. Just what I said.
In the Premier League.
Yep, in the Premier League.
Okay.
I know the numbers all by heart. Up and they're all in my head, mate. I'm
All
like Nick Fury when it comes to numbers.
All right. Would you argue with me that he's good enough to play for Arsenal to catapult them to a league title or a Champions League glory?
He is, but not as a striker. I've said it 1,000 times. We should be playing him on the wing.
Okay.
should be
Are
playing
the 8? Sorry, the 8.
Yeah,
Are the 8?
Yeah, not
Okay.
as a striker, Tony. Not as a striker.
All right. So the question was answered. He's not a striker. Yeah. Where you play him outside of that, it's arguable because we need to see that to validate it. Yeah. We need to see it. It's all very prototyping and saying, potentially this player could play here and there, but let's see it. And quite frankly, now Arsenal have an opportunity to go, you know what? Neither one of our 2 strikers is good enough to play the striker for Arsenal Football Club, who have a history of 20-goal plus strikers. A history of 20-plus goal strikers. Yeah? Then you go to Martinelli, who had a fantastic year last year, and you can't get a tune out of him for now. He's as invisible on the statistics line as Anthony, as Richarlison, as there's a whole bunch of players right now playing wingers, like Leon Bailey, likes of Doku,
Kudos.
who are all wingers doing far better jobs as wingers, creating opportunities, scoring goals. Yeah? Saka, I like him. I can't, as I said to Stan at the point when we started, the whole thing was like, oh, but he's got no right foot. Well, if you don't think he's got a right foot, you are not watching that kid because he scores with his right foot.
Tony, stop it there, Tony. Tony, stop. Tony, you're confusing scoring with your right foot with having a right foot. What does it mean having a right foot? I'm comfortable using my right foot. I'm comfortable shooting. You put the ball in the top corner because he just swings his foot and hope. Doesn't have a right foot. It's not debatable. Sorry.
Okay. That's your opinion. I appreciate that. And we have a difference of opinion. I'm sorry to say, I believe the kid has a right foot. I think he trains it because if he doesn't swing it. Yeah.
He nearly scored today with his right foot.
Yeah. So that kid that, there's a difference because you look at Martinelli and his left foot, that kid has no left foot. He has zero left foot. Whereas on the other side, I would say Saka has a right foot. It's serviceable. I'm not saying he plays as well on his right foot as he does on his left foot, but he's got a decent right foot. Now, let's go past that. Across the middle, Kai Havertz been an experiment, and I like the kid's effort. I sometimes worry about this whole thing about Granit Xhaka was this all singing, all dancing 8. He was not for me.
He wasn't
and
for me.
Kai Havertz better? For me, he's a better footballer. And down the line, hopefully, he will prove that. Because I was never really a great Granit Xhaka fan. And yes, like many other players last year, he had a phenomenal year. His best year in all of his time at Arsenal.
And Tony, can I ask you a question, Tony? Mm-hmm. How much goals and assists in 18 games has Granit Xhaka got this season?
From what I understand, he's had a good season this season, though. From
what I answer understand, the question. How much goals and assists? Zero. No goals, no assists.
I don't think that's the case. I think he has scored.
You know me and my numbers, Tony. Go and check it right in front of you now.
I'm pretty certain I've seen
Apollo, let's manage what we say about players. He's playing the 6, Apollo. His team is undefeated. He's playing the 6 and he's playing brilliantly.
I don't care.
You've been giving false narrative about the player. He's playing the 6.
Bertram, that's an excuse. Douglas Luiz is playing the 6.
No, he's playing a role. No, Kamara is playing the 6. Douglas Luiz is playing on the left or the right side. Kamara plays the 6. Come on.
Bertram, Declan Rice is playing the 6. That's an excuse. He's got 4
But he plays the 8 sometimes too. When Jorginho plays.
Yeah, once. He played the 8 once.
And he plays more offensive. Okay.
Yeah, it's an excuse, man.
The only thing we're missing from last year is Xhaka, by the way. The only thing we're missing from last year is Xhaka's team. Xhaka's the only player we're missing. Just remember that. And by the way, it protected his left back, which Havertz don't do enough of.
No one can take away what Xhaka did last season. 7 goals, 7 assists was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
But we're not talking about his defensive work, Apollo. Blocking ball in the box, stopping from scoring, tracking players. The facts are there. Yeah, he was a defensive demon last year. Forget about his offense.
Defensively, Havertz's numbers are better than Xhaka's, and you know that.
No, because you focus on stats which are meaningless sometimes.
Of course I do.
Meaningless stats. Meaningless.
No, they're not meaningless.
Havertz is a waste. A waste on the football field. He walks around in a circle. I gotta jump off, guys. I'm getting annoyed. Sorry. I'm getting annoyed.
All right, Bertrand. Yeah, go on, Tony.
So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we know that there's a section of the Arsenal fan base who are absolutely praying for Kai Havertz to fail because they put their name on it. You know, they will not even celebrate him scoring a goal because they are so convinced that he is the worst thing that Mikel Arteta has done. And I'm, for one, going to jump up and praise him every time he gets an opportunity to excel and do something good for the team. And he's by no way one of the worst players in the team. Odegaard, I have to kind of mirror what Bertram said. I love Odegaard. I really do. I think he's the best player in the team. But he does too much at the wrong times, in the wrong places. And ultimately, again, this is another player whose statistics last year, phenomenal goals, phenomenal assists. And I don't think there's a more visible player of a player trying really hard to push his team. But he's just not working at the moment. And the onus of that really has to fall for me on the manager because he has to find a way to unlock what Odegaard can do with the personnel around him. And this is the thing, 2 things I said I would look at heavily. Personnel, tactics. Because the combination of the 2 right now are failing Arsenal miserably. And I know we're sitting 4th and we're only 2 points off the top, but in a short period of time, we've come to a realization that something needs to change. As you say, change without change doesn't create change. Yeah? We have come to a realization that something needs to change dramatically. Number one, we need a striker. We ain't going to win the Premier League. We're not going to win the Champions League. You know, we can't go on unbeaten runs when you don't have a striker. Yeah? The left wing, there's a problem. The kid that plays over there is probably our fastest player. If you look at like flat speed, just being able to run past the player, I don't think any player in our team has his flat speed. Yeah? But it's speed without control. And for me, that's a problem that Arteta has to fix. As I said, I'm happy with Saka on the right. He's going to have games where it just doesn't work. But you know what? His production is there. And then behind, you just have to find a way for Odegaard to start working. And if you haven't got something you can put in place to give Odegaard a rest or to try and, you know, stir up something in a game, you know, whether you move him to the left side and, you know, I don't know what you do, but you have to find a way to get him to work. Yeah, that defense that was being talked about as being all worldly, Saliba and Gabriel, all of a sudden looks rather hazy and dodgy and not quite as solid as, you know, people were saying, you know, oh, look at this. This is the next Adams and Bowl. This is the next Rio and whoever used to go with him. But it ain't that. It ain't that. You know, they're both good players. I would say probably more so Saliba than Gabriel. But right now it's looking hella like them guys are not able to work in tandem with the players around them, i.e. the left back.
Well, the left and right back.
And I was about to go there.
Yeah.
But
This is
I'm
the
gonna
number one
start with
defense in the
left back
league.
Because left back to
number
me
one defense
right
in
now,
the league.
the left back right now, to me, huge problem. Because, again, is it personnel? I am going to say, you know, look, when Timber comes back, hopefully, you know,
I gave you the good news. I gave you. Did you get my update on that a few days ago?
Yeah. I mean, you know, this is the thing: is we're at that stage in the season where we're like, okay, Arsenal need a reset for the new year. We get a week off from Premier League football, but in 2 weeks' time, when we're back in the Premier League again, I don't even give a monkeys about the FA Cup. I just need the Premier League and the Champions League this season. I need us to be playing our optimum football.
Yeah, in the best competitions in the world.
I don't need our players to be burning out in March and April. And that is where the tactics is getting wrong. Because to me, you're overplaying people.
Again.
Yeah. Again. Yeah. And now you're getting injuries which you didn't have last year. So you're kind of like, well, you're hoping that people can come back and they can hit the ground running and all of a sudden, you know, you're there. I got to say, Reece Nelson ain't good enough for me. You know, I so wanted Reece Nelson to push on this year and challenge. And the fact that he's getting $100,000 a week made me think that Arteta has faith in him. And I want him to be successful. You know, I've got a very good friend who's very close with Reece. Like, they're literally best friends. They grew up in where is it he's from? That part of southeast London. But literally, they grew up on the same estate. And, you know, I couldn't want for a kid to succeed more.
He doesn't live far from the Emirates.
I've just got to hope now that he finds himself in a good team in the same way that Joe Willock has, and find himself integral to another team being successful. Because it looks like it's not going to happen at Arsenal. And while he's sitting on the side, looking in, he's wasting his career. You know, Joe Willock made the right decision to go to Newcastle. And he's an integral part of their team.
I mean, before the West Ham game, before the West Ham game, I said to everybody, after 18 games, Reece Nelson's played a total of 63 minutes. 63 minutes in 18 games. And in this week, he's played for 40 minutes. So he's added to that. He's added another 40 minutes. So for the first half, in 20 games, he's played 100 total minutes. That's equivalent to just over one. Well, that is one game with time added on. So he's played one game in 20 league matches for 100 grand a week. So as much as I say to you, his levels are down, he can't do nothing sitting on the bench. He's not being played. And Bertram's just said 5 minutes per game. That's not good enough. You're paying somebody a salary of 100 grand a week for 5 minutes per game. So while you've said what you've said about Reece Nelson, and you know I'm a big Reece Nelson fan, the manager's not playing him. That's what the problem is.
Yeah, sell him and let the kid flourish somewhere else. Because you're restraining him. You're keeping him back.
Yeah,
let him flourish somewhere else.
And if that means, and you know, I love the player, but I'm talking to the manager now. If that means that you're not happy with him, and he's not what you want, then sell him and bring in a Rafinha, or bring in somebody that you do want, or bring in a Kudos, or bring in whoever you want. But don't let him sit on the bench, earning that kind of money and just not being utilized. Don't do it. You're hurting yourself and you're hurting the player.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, I mean, you know, I think I'm done now because I want to prepare myself for the Ravens versus Dolphins game. So I'm going to leave it there. As I said, my two things now are Arsenal seriously now have to look at personnel and tactics. And you have a 2-week window now to try and get some players back on the pitch. I don't know what the hell they're going to do with Thomas Partey, but yeah, as Bertram alluded to, there is none better in this league than Thomas Partey. So if you can swerve him away from the African nations and bring him back, not like Ghana are ever gonna. They always seem to shoot themselves in the foot anyway.
Which is why you're hoping that it's over quickly and he comes home on the 22nd of January.
Please.
Shout out to you, Vincey. I miss you, bro. I might phone you later on this weekend to wish you Happy New Year. So expect a phone call from me later on today, bro.
Cool. So yeah, guys, that's me. I'm frustrated again. My weekend could get even worse because the Ravens are one hell of a good team, and I'm being honest. I don't expect Dolphins to win in Baltimore in that cold.
Yeah, I went for Baltimore on this one.
Yeah, I love my team, but I just don't expect them to win in the cold. Got no Jalen Waddle either, so.
So Emerson, any final comments from you, bro?
Not really. You've all, and I agree with most of what's been said. As I said, my issue will be if we don't get a player in January, whether it's Tony or Osimhen from Napoli, which I can't see that happening. Because for what I saw the other week, last week when he was playing, I'm not sure if you saw that game where he got sent off. I don't think he'd be ideal for Arsenal. I know they say that he will score goals, but Tony will be my obvious. As someone said, it could be the financial pay. We must probably have to pay the money that Brentford wanted for him, the 27 million. So be it.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
They can have that, and then if they invest and get someone else, so be it. But as I said, with the other departments of the team, wait and see what players we get back from injury towards the middle of January after the So that's the way I see it. We'll have to wait and see what players we're going to get in at the in the window. If we don't get any, so be it. So all we have to do is hope our injured players do come back. But my issue is that Partey will not play any part in January. I reckon he's going to be out again to January, and I don't think he's going to go to the African nations because they're going to try and Arsenal are going to try and snub it and say he's got an injury that hasn't cleared up as yet. So when he comes back after that injury that he's got, no one knows because no one knows what the injury is.
Yeah, I hope they do that because if we can go
all
back,
I can say, guys, just have a.
So if we can go back and remember, Partey was fit, and then he was in recovery, and then he went away with Ghana, and then the injury got worse. So that's what made it worse. The fact that we were dependent on them to rest him, and instead they played him for 45 minutes in the first game and 50 minutes in the second game, and then he hasn't played football since. So from our perspective, Ghana has been very irresponsible to his injuries, which is why he's in the situation he's in now. So I would agree with Emerson. I would not play him or allow him to go anywhere at this point in time. I would keep him at Arsenal, give him another 2 weeks, see how he does in full training, and then I would look to facilitate him towards the end of the month. I just would not take any chance. He's the key. Guys, he's hardly played a game after the third match this season. That's where we are. To me, in my opinion, he was our best player last season. He was up there. It was Casemiro, Rodri, and Partey were the three biggest names in midfield football in Europe. Yeah? That's how big Thomas Partey was. And while the other two has standout attributes, no one can transition the ball like Partey. To me, he's the best transitional player in the Premier League. But there's a question here from Cam says, how do we approach January? Well, as I said, there's just no money available through FFP, so we would have to approach it via a loan. The first thing those guys need to do is get on the phone and try to facilitate a loan for a left or a right back. You ain't gonna get a striker on loan, so you can forget that. But try to move on Suarez and El Nene. Try to do something in that regard. Make a decision what you're going to do with Reece Nelson and Smith Rowe, because both are being severely underplayed. And if you're not going to play them, put somebody in the team who you will play. There's no intangibles there. This is just specifically talking about numbers. You've got guys on the bench who are not getting on the field. If they don't suit you, then the way you play or your system, change it for players that will. And that's how I would approach it. I would also think about whether you're going to bend the rules a little bit to do what Chelsea does to bring in a striker. But first of all, that's not who we are. So, and me personally, I wouldn't take that route. And then secondly, you're not going to be able to get anybody to leave their team in the new year with a big name. It's not saying it's never been done before. Of course it is. We've seen Vlahovic move in January. We've seen big names move in January. We got Aubameyang in January as well. So we've seen it happen before. But I'm just talking about the general consensus is that strikers and big name players are not going to move, specifically because they're fighting in. I mean, Napoli is in the Champions League. They're fighting for the title. Would they would they release him now? I mean, I know there's a release clause, so they wouldn't really have a word to say about it. If Arsenal came up with the 130 million euros, 112,000 pounds, then and that procs the release clause, then Napoli sell. That's where they're at. I think we know what's happened between him and the players. I think that relationship is irreparable. And it's really who's going to come in for him. As opposed to Ivan Toney, Bertram's talked about that. It says Toney isn't the most athletic, but the best option. However, at a time, we cannot afford him. For me, it's a no. If you're looking at 100 million, the only place you should look at is Victor Osimhen. Yeah, you shouldn't look anywhere else for a striker. If Toney was in a situation where there'd be a loan to buy like the Raya deal, or if the fee was lower, then maybe I might facilitate it. But no, not for that kind of money. Any big money you spend on him, you then end any option you have of getting Victor Osimhen, and I'm not willing to do that. Tony?
Yeah, I'm done, mate. I've got to get out of here, man. I've had enough of this Arsenal rubbish.
All right, guys, listen, that's it for us today. Questions about Arsenal's attacking play are only going to get louder in the fan base, and what Mikel Arteta is going to do to change this now. Fulham, for me, they deserve to win today. For Arsenal, you were aiming to finish the end of the year on the top of the Premier League. Instead, we're in 4th place, just 1 point above Tottenham, who have been hit by injuries this season. It's not a good place to be. Happy New Year, everybody. I hope you're doing well. And listen, we'll speak to you in the next one, man.